New York to show it's going to bring back one of its classic characters. The bad boy of sports television. Underutilized character. Now that we're done with the doorstep of destiny.
It was very underutilized. It lasted like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then it was gone. It's like Professor Bruto.
Well, I wanted to keep him, but Dusty
Bro,
Dusty had an issue.
hair?
I trimmed it a little bit.
Post-football season trim. You look resplendent,
thank
bro.
you.
What about me?
Well, Brew cuts his own hair. You put on your own hair piece.
I put my post Super Bowl hairpiece on. Get ready for vacation.
Yeah.
You can swim in it, you know.
Can you? Mm-hmm. Wow. Don't box.
Not too long.
I was.
Not too long. You get in and out of the water, but.
By the way, I'm sure you're.
What, you're talking about your highlights?
No, I was going to talk about the big
You gonna
thing
put him in for
happening
the
on
trip?
the
You
show
should
today.
put him in for the trip.
I was going to talk about the big thing on the show today.
Go ahead.
Is it not in your teas?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Return the bad
big
boy of sports
reveal.
television?
The big reveal that's coming.
This
up.
is huge. It really is.
The top 10. You know about it. The top 10 cards.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. I couldn't tell if you were being serious.
No, I'm
or
being
just talking
totally
about your
serious.
highlights.
No, I don't
think
have
it's
highlights.
awesome.
Okay.
Top 10 baseball cards of all time.
Okay, one of those things is true.
He really doesn't.
We are
like,
doing the
he
top.
doesn't
Where
like
are
the joke about his
No,
highlights.
he gets upset.
Which makes me think
sitting
he
there-
really did.
Why?
He really did put in
Of course,
highlights.
he was sitting there with
He thought
tinfoil
he
in his
did
hair.
it well enough
I thought
that
it
you
looked
wouldn't
nice.
know.
Why would I highlight my hair?
That's
We
what
thought-
I'm wondering.
we thought
but
it looked
I
nice.
just, you did. All I know is you did.
did.
I don't know why.
You did.
You did? It looked all right.
I thought it looked good. Today, Super Bowl hangover starts now, and could it extend to Drake Maye's entire career?
The odds are yes.
Oh, wow.
One stat that will say the odds actually are no. Meanwhile, the Seahawks favorites to go back-to-back. What's stopping them? I'm not sure. And finally, a way too early version and controversial, bro,
It was very
of Mahomes Mountain.
Very
I don't even know what's the point of playing the games. Like, why not play just...
I can't believe this is going to be your take. I can't
You
believe it.
sound like Danny Parkins.
No, I don't.
Just like I ran the numbers and independent
No,
of
by
the
the
game.
way,
No matter what
Speaking
you
of
see,
Danny
Justin
Parkins,
Herbert is the best
Danny,
quarterback.
who I know is watching right now, very mad at me because I got an early look at Top 10 Tuesday.
I can't wait for that.
Which
It was
is
a little
coming up
odd,
in overtime.
I cannot wait for that.
Well, it was very, very bad.
It's
It's going to be like a Jackson Pollock thing.
it's
Like, this thing is a mess, but I like it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the first hour of First Things First, and we're starting with the future of Drake Maye. Super Bowl in his second year, that's pretty good. Same as Dan Marino. Problem is, Dan Marino never got back.
Yeah.
Now, on paper, this Super Bowl appearance from Jeremy Fowler could be the first of many, but that's hardly a slam dunk. He's not out there like Larry Johnson dressed as grandmama, you know what I mean?
Great timely reference.
Wow.
My words, not Jeremy Fowler's, referencing grandmama.
Just keep
That was-
going,
that was-
man.
That was a reach.
React Juice, he had those Converse.
Come on, man.
Dan Marino was also
You think
20.
you never seen Harden?
When he reached Super Bowl 19, never returned. Joe Burrow was 25 when he led the Cincinnati Bengals to Super Bowl 56 in year 2. Since then, that guy's only got one playoff appearance in 4 years as injuries mounted.
Yeah.
So, man, this spells disaster for poor Drake Maye. Do you believe Drake reaches another Super Bowl? Oh, man.
Now, I would encourage people not to make these types of bets that you can't win for 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
It seems like a weird way to hold your money in,
Yes.
in
Interest
escrow,
vesting.
so to
Yeah.
speak. I would not do that. But if you were to offer me 50-50, yes or no, I think the smart money slightly would be on no. And part of that is to do with the conference he's in. Part of that is to do with the one team in the division that he's in. Part of that is to do with what is, I think, a very real history of the scar tissue for a team and for a player of losing a Super Bowl together before you win one. And all of that, and the, cruelty of single elimination sport. And, all of those things put together, because you listed some of them, but just, since we've been either on this show together or all in sports media, year 2, Colin Kaepernick made a Super Bowl and looked like a superstar. Now, obviously, his career went a different way for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Never made it back. You mentioned Burrow, Brock Purdy. And again, Purdy's story is far from being over, but injuries have mounted for him. He hasn't been as close since then. Jared Goff made one in year 3. did not get close again until he changed teams.
Right.
Drew Bledsoe, number 1 pick. Goff was number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Drew Bledsoe, number 1 pick for the Patriots. Made one in year 4. Never got close again as a starter. Cam Newton, number 1 pick. Actually won MVP. Got there in year 5. Never got close again. Donovan McNabb, number 2 pick. Got there in year 6. Never got close again, really. And so the pedigree part of Drake Maye, number 3 overall pick, there already seems like it would be, immunize him to a degree from the Super Bowl hangover. But that hasn't been the case. And then when you add to it, Brew, Jalen Hurts last year was just the 2nd quarterback in 50 years to lose the first Super Bowl they were in and ever win one.
Yeah.
John Elway, the only 4 to ever do it are Lynn Dawson, who lost the first Super Bowl and then won Super Bowl 4, Bob Greasy, who lost the Super Bowl, then won back-to-back in the 70s, and then John Elway, who lost 3 in the 80s and then won 2 at the end of his career, Jalen Hurts. And so I sadly, for KW, would say, I'm obviously not slamming the door on it, but if you were to ask me yes or no, I would say slightly to the no.
Well, look, and you put on top of that, Mahomes isn't done. Lamar, Josh. Now, I know they haven't gotten to one of those two, but still.
I think that's fair.
Burrow. I mean, these are guys are all in their primes. That's not to mention Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, who's with a good team. We'll see if C.J. Stroud turns around, but that team is good. Like, there is serious competition for him. That's just the AFC, let alone the NFC as far as winning the Super Bowl. But I'm going to say he does get to one more.
Okay.
I think one more. I'm just projecting. I would think maybe they win that one, but I think he gets to one more. And I am saying it because of this, Nick. He's with a great organization.
Correct.
He is with the greatest owner in the NFL, right?
Wow, that's nice.
Well, I mean, you look at his track record, there's no question. And he's got a great coach. He's got a great offensive coordinator who is not likely to get a head coaching job anytime soon.
I think that helps.
Absolutely. And a coordinator who's been to several Super Bowls.
You
so
could
knows how
argue
to
that's
get it
what
done.
has hurt Jalen Hurts moving
yeah, absolutely. And so
C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
His offensive coordinator's changing. Yeah.
He's got all of that. He got this team to the Super Bowl. I get it. The schedule was easier so they could rack up more wins. However, he did it with certainly later in the season an offensive line that has a lot of room for improvement. No phenomenal skilled position players. So maybe if they go get a star or, he should be better as far as skilled position players in the future, have a better O-line in front of him. And just the fact that he's so young, he's going to get better. I think going through all these games will help him. He seems to have a great head on his shoulders. And so I just think, I hear you, Nick, and you're right, especially when you look at all of the competition there is. However, he is in a great position and great, like I said, great coach who's Vrabel. We know how much he wants to win the Super Bowl as a coach. So I just think he's going to get back to one more.
The question for you, I think, Nick, is do you view this question, I mean, it is a quarterback question, but do you view it through a lens of Drake Maye or do you view it through a lens of Vrabel and the Kraft organization? Because I know you're like, well, Jalen Hurts is the only guy to do it. The way I looked at it, Kyle Shanahan has been back a few times, and the quarterback was interchangeable.
Yep.
Sean McVay, the quarterback, great, now we look at Jared Goff, but he's been back a few times with two different. So if I just keep
the Eagles organization.
Yes.
You didn't mention.
I didn't even count Nick Foles as part of that, but I should have. So I view the Patriots more like the Rams, but instead of switching out the quarterback, more like the 49ers. Instead of switching out the quarterback, we just keep the same quarterback, same coach, same front office, and have continued success.
So this is where I would, I guess, push back on the thing Bruce said at the beginning. And this is, I guess, in the same bucket of, say what you want about Nick Sirianni, wins are a coaching stat, that the evidence supports the best owner in the NFL is Robert Kraft. I don't view the Patriots as organizationally as buttoned up across the board and as well-oiled machine as the three organizations you just mentioned. And I understand I understand.
He's hired great head coaches.
Well, he's hired three, right? Yeah. And one of them was a disaster, right? And Mayo.
Well, 1 year.
Right, but that's
but
he hired Parcells, so three of the four.
I'm sorry, I forgot he hired Parcells. You're right about that. Parcells, Belichick.
Mayo, and he got rid of Mayo quick. He didn't let it simmer for 5 years.
But the other, so I have a hard time with some of the Patriots' success was everyone involved in the Belichick-Brady tenure, in the GOAT conversation for what they did because they all racked up those numbers together? Or was Tom Brady pulling a disproportionate load? Was Belichick pulling a disproportionate load? Kraft is along for it. I don't know. But what I do think is the Patriots don't, even with Brady, have the tendency to spend and creatively spend the way the Rams have and the Eagles have, maybe in line with the Niners to a degree. And so I think that could be preventative to a degree. And so I
definitely think Kraft was, for lack of a better phrase, along for the ride with Belichick and Brady. But again, he hired Parcells and now Vrabel. So I think he's shown enough outside of those guys, at least where he's competent and knows what he's doing.
Oh, yes, I agree. I don't think they have a bad ownership situation. I also don't know what to make of the fact that I mentioned the last 50 years, the only two quarterbacks to lose their first Super Bowl and win one were Elway and Hurts. The only guys to get back is Craig Morton, who didn't really get back because he had to change teams to do it. So he got back, but and then two guys who went to a bunch of Super Bowls and lost them. Fran Tarkington, who kept going and losing, and Jim Kelly. I don't know what, I can't prove it, and it's small enough of a sample that it might be random, but it does feel like that football's so hard and the season can be so cruel that losing a Super Bowl before you've won one, as a collective, can do real damage to the things that you were saying, Wilds, were special and the vibes and all that stuff. I don't know how much of that is the Seahawks had won a Super Bowl and then losing that next one broke the team. I'm talking about.
They were winning 10 games.
Right. They still were a good team.
No, but they had to get rid of the whole defense. They had to get rid of within 2 years because they were so mad about how the game ended. You know what I mean? I
also think I think in the era now, and it's been a long time now, but free agency. A lot of Fran Tarkenton, that was before free agency, where those teams
were just stacked
together.
Year. Yeah.
Whereas now, if some guys can't get over the Super Bowl hangover, whatever. Eventually you're going to bring in new guys.
Just looking at this, how many guys were in the Super Bowl ahead of schedule? That's what I would think, even going back to McNabb was not ahead of schedule. McNabb was kind of peak. I would say Cam was at the peak of his powers. He wasn't getting better post-Super Bowl.
Goff,
Matt Ryan was at the
Purdy.
peak. Yeah. And those guys could get back.
Marino.
So maybe the jury is still out.
Marino was ahead of schedule.
He still was great, but
but Marino's career is one of the weirdest ones ever. Yeah. In that they make the Super Bowl in year 2, it's his best year. The next
easy schedule.
That's the different Dolphins team. That's 72.
Well, was that
not
schedule
84.
Easy?
But
look up that 84 easy.
No,
schedule.
but Brew, and then the next year they get to the AFC title game.
Yeah.
And then the whole rest of his career, they only get to one more conference title game. Marino's career is unlike. There's no comp for it.
All right, well, let's take a look at the Super Bowl champions and their odds next year. Very kind to the Seahawks. They are favored to go back-to-back. I think they're tied with the Rams, which Danny was calling the real Super Bowl. So it kind of stinks. Stinks for me, at least, Are you buying that the Seahawks can go back-to-back? They deserve to be.
And back-to-back, we're talking about winning it, not just getting there.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Look, they can. I mean, they're obviously a very good team. Darnold's still young. I'm interested to see how losing Kubiak, the OC, does that have any effect? Now, this was his first year with Kubiak, so it's not like he's been with him for 3 years. So you would think he'll adjust to whoever it is. And they're obviously smart enough to keep a lot of the stuff that was working and all of that. So I think he'll be fine with it. The defense obviously is great. You got, the skill positions, assuming they bring back Kenneth Walker III too. So I could, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to write them off, but I view them kind of like I'm not saying they'll have as bad a year as Philly had. Bad year, if we call it that. But I view them like I did Philly, where I think they'll be good. They'll make the playoffs, but they're not going to win. I would pick against them getting back to the Super Bowl. The teams that have won it, Nick, you mentioned it in your last answer, all the quarterbacks that have gone back-to-back are Hall of Famers. Now, and I guess you might say, well, if Sam Darnold wins the next Super Bowl, then, okay, he's starting to build a case. But, I mean, Bart Starr, Bob Greasy, Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Aikman, Elway, Brady, and Mahomes. I'm not ready to put Sam Darnold in that class. And I get it. They have a great team, but I am not going to give him that. And this was a team that was led by their defense. And two of the greatest defenses that we've seen, and we've even mentioned them over this past week, the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, they didn't get back. It was like the Steel Curtain did. That's like one of the
Bucks as well didn't get back.
Right. The Steel Curtain is really one of the few great ones and then Miami in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Those are like the only two great defenses that did get back and repeat. So, I don't think they will.
One thing that they don't have going for them that Philly did this year is upheaval in their own division. That Philly, while it was working through whatever it needed to work through, and it never worked through it all, they had the safety blanket of, we're going to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
So even if we have some injuries or some discontent, if we can get it right by January, we'll be there. Philly had that backstop. I do not believe Seattle will. I think they are in an incredibly difficult division. I think they have, while Philly's division was dealing with coaching turnover or new coaches or coaches on the way out, I think three of the best coaches now in all of the NFL are in that same division. In McVay, Shanahan, and obviously Mike McDonald. I agree with you, Brew, that certainly in the modern era of the NFL, every team that's gone back-to-back, forget Hall of Famer, has had legendary quarterbacks. Like the worst and I say this the worst quarterback to go back-to-back in my lifetime is Troy Aikman. And Troy Aikman's pretty damn great. Right. And so that's what makes it tough. What makes you think, I think they can do it, because I saw a team basically do it, and they played in the same city and wore the same uniforms,
that helped.
Is the path of the 2013-2014 Seahawks that going into that year, no one thought was a Super Bowl, contender. Midway through the year, people kind of started to believe the real we've arrived moment. I don't know how many people remember it was Richard Sherman yelling at Tom Brady when he was going off the field when the Seahawks beat the Brady Patriots. Like, oh, wow, this team's for real. Then they just kicked the teeth in of the Broncos in the Super Bowl, and then the next year felt like they rode that wave all the way into the playoffs. Now, that playoffs was shaky for them. They needed the crazy comeback into the Packers in the conference title game, and they ended up losing the Super Bowl by a yard. But that team, Russell Wilson, again, like you were saying, had he won that game, he would have been a Hall of Famer, but was not at that point. When we were ranking quarterbacks much higher than Sam Darnold would be ranked right now, but he did his job well. He knew what it was. He was clutch, and that defense was awesome. So I am by no means slamming the door on it. I don't think this was a fluke. I don't think this team's not going to be heard from again, and I do think they have, like that Seahawks team did, a great coach that is going to be, very important, but it's just so hard.
And the competition in the NFC, just their division, we know how close the Rams were to them. Now San Francisco, which beat them once, is going to be healthy, presumably.
Well, I don't know.
If they're but if they're healthy, that's a team that's going to give them some trouble. So it's going to be very tough.
I know you like Arizona, too.
That's your pick.
Lakers Thunder, battle between the defending champions and, well, honestly, the fifth best team in the West. Pretty simple explanation of how this game went, and LeBron didn't mince words after the game. Take a listen.
You want me to compare us to them?
No, I want to know where you think, though, that, sort of as this team is on its,
That's a championship team right there. We're not. So I don't understand.
What are the biggest things you think that are keeping this team as right now?
We can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes. And they can. That's why they won a championship.
There you go. Your reaction to honest LeBron.
He's absolutely right. Like, they're not a contender. They're a playoff team. I think their ceiling, and I'm being generous here, is second round. Like, get beat in the second round. Because if they're the fifth seed right now, fourth they would play Houston. I mean, that's not an unwinnable series. San Antonio is young, but I think their athleticism would give the Lakers some problems, not to mention Wemby. But if they're sixth, then you might get Denver or San Antonio in the first round. You could go out in the first round. They're a good team, but the thing that kills them is they don't play defense. That's basically, that's all it is to it. Their three best players aren't defenders. LeBron now because of his age, and obviously Luka and Reeves. Not to mention their three best players have only played 10 games together. So they're not even really developing great chemistry. They are all smart enough where they can make it work together, but still they're not developing the type of chemistry they would need to pull off an upset in the playoffs because they're just injured. And Nick, they're 22nd in the league in defensive rating, 27th in opponents' field goal percentage. And these athletic teams really give them problems. Like OKC, last night, obviously OKC didn't even have SGA. Obviously the Lakers didn't have Luka, but still. But it was just the athleticism of those guys. Those are the types of teams that are just too fast, too athletic for the Lakers. So they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're a legitimate contender.
And right now they are being held together by the fact that despite being at his age and despite Luka's limitations, LeBron and Luka are still two of the best clutch players in the league, which is why they are 23-0 when leading after three quarters. And then what does that mean? They are 9-30 in all other settings. This is the third time in LeBron's Lakers career they have been at or near the top of the whole NBA in winning percentage after leading through three quarters, because when the game, if it's close late, last 5 minutes, and the game slows down, some of those limitations LeBron has at his age, get minimized, and IQ and things like that. And Luka obviously can create a bucket as well as anybody, but their net rating, like their point differential, is that of a 500 team. Right. They have the same net rating as the Magic and barely ahead of the Clippers. And so
I think the Magic are the only other team with a winning record that has a one that low.
Correct. And so they probably aren't quite as good as 32-20, but they're winning in the margins. But the bright side for the Lakers is this. You're not a championship contender, and your front office and current ownership are fine with that because they're not trying to be. Because the Lakers have, in 2024, they punted on any real improvement. Mm-hmm. In 2025, they traded for Luka Doncic. It was obvious to everyone when they traded for him, well, this team wasn't built for Luka. If you're going to try to win this year, you got to make another move. They're like, nope, that's what the offseason's for. The offseason, they did nothing substantial. The trade deadline, again, they did nothing substantial. And they're keeping this pipe dream of maybe Giannis. Yeah. And if not, they're already peddling within 2027 we're going to have our cap space. And LeBron will be gone. Yeah. It's Luka who, and there was one article last week, or lightly sourced it seemed, that Luka's a little frustrated at the lack of urgency because he feels maybe the way I feel, which is if you have prime Luka Doncic, you probably shouldn't just be like, okay, it's okay to just be good
But
this
do
year.
You think, I don't think that's their attitude. I mean, they went out and got DeAndre Ayton, who you can argue over whether you think theoretically he's a fit with Luka. You pick and roll, throw him lobs at the rim and theoretically, again, he could defend. I mean, it wasn't much out there as far as centers. Like, I don't think they're mailing it in. I don't think they're saying, okay, we're pretty good making the playoffs. We're fine with that. I think they're smart enough to know every year we have Luka Doncic in his prime, we got to go for it. But they just haven't been. Luka is difficult to build around, period. And, I mean, because you got.
The Mavs figured it out.
Well, they had Kyrie Irving, who was another all-time great player. I know he's not top 30 or anything, but a Hall of Fame player. And they got to the finals and then got blasted. So I guess if you want to say getting to the finals 1 year is figuring it out, but they built around him. They got defenders, athletes, spot-up shooters, and then they had another great player. But a guy that's so ball dominant doesn't defend, he's hard to build around.
So, no, listen, I agree. There are certain types of players that you have to acquire if Luka's on your team. And those players aren't easy to come by. What I would say about the Mavs is they scotch taped it together and made a conference finals, had a bad year, then made the finals, and we don't know what that team would have continued to look like because he then got traded. When I'm saying they're fine with it, this is what I mean, Brew. I am giving the Lakers front office credit for at least having as high of a basketball IQ as me. I won't even give them Brew's basketball IQ. I'll just give them mine. And going into the year, I was like, yeah, that team doesn't have any defenders.
Yeah, I think.
And doesn't have the types of players that you need to win with Luka Doncic. So if going into the year, we all looked at it and was like, you have prime Luka Doncic, you have Austin Reeves, who's up and coming and better than we expected, whatever you're going to get out of LeBron, but that roster is drawing dead. And they went into the year with it, and then in the trade deadline, they were like, you know what, we should add another non-defender who can shoot.
Shooter.
That, to me, it's either you don't know what it takes to create a winning basketball team, I assume they do, or you're like, no, it's okay.
Or
this
they
year,
just can't make the moves. They haven't been able to make the move.
Man, in a world where Anthony Davis can be had, I know they couldn't get Anthony Davis because they weren't going to trade him back, but for 2 bad first-round picks, it feels like if you were willing to trade future assets, players were available. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, but it's felt to me like this Lakers team was poorly formed from the beginning. And so I don't know what you do.
It's A.J. Brown looking to fly away from Philly. That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM. Also, Bruce, nothing wrong with getting to the final game and getting blasted. Reverential. Hey, guess where we're going? Daytona 500, Thursday and Friday. We're going to kick off the show with Clint Boyer on Thursday at 3 o'clock, so that'll be great. First things first, live from the Daytona 500.
Great.
We're going to have those jackets, too.
Friday. I'm going to wear it on the plane.
Are you guys really?
Oh, yeah,
Hopefully.
We're pushing.
We put several
Pushing for it.
feelers out, let's say. A.J. Brown, rumor mill's churning. Mike Garofalo reporting that A.J.'s future with the team is in doubt, but the Eagles haven't had any trade talks yet. Maybe it picks up around the combine. Do you think it's time for the Eagles to move on from A.J. Brown, bro?
Well, I certainly would be listening to calls and making calls, too. I would not give him away. He's too good of a player for that. But I would definitely be like, if we can get something, whether it's draft picks, whether it's a player that is comparable, then I'm doing it. And I'm starting to feel like the Eagles might be in for a rough season.
You think?
Right, yeah. It's just too many, and here's the thing. You can look at it 2 different ways, but we know they're going to have a new offensive coordinator, new offensive line coach, new pass game coordinator, new run game coordinator, right? That you could look at that, and this is fair to say, oh, yeah, and it's going to be much better. It's going to be a whole different show. Or I'm looking at it like it might be a lot of turmoil. If it doesn't go well, AJ, and if it's turmoil, AJ is going to speak his mind, and I think it could really get bad. So I would look at moving on from him.
Some of the confetti just fell on Greg from yesterday. It's the gift that keeps on giving. There's still some balloons up there, too. They're going to fall one day. Yeah, it's really, sorry, go ahead.
But, yeah, but that, I would definitely be looking to get rid of him. Not give him away, but definitely seeing what I can get for him.
And just to add to that for you, and it seems like Lane Johnson might retire. And he's the one guy this team, year over year, has really struggled winning without. But go ahead.
So, no. No, I don't think it's time to move on from A.J. Brown. Again, I'm with you in terms of listening to what's out there. I wouldn't be aggressively making the calls, but if teams are calling me about and acquiring about A.J. Brown, then okay, I'm definitely listening to see what we can get. And I say this because there is so much turnover. when you have a new play caller and there's so much that didn't go right in the previous year, and just because he's been the vocal one out of everyone, we look at him as sometimes the problem. And it's not necessarily that he's been the problem. He's been a large part of the solution and reason why they have success or somewhat success in the passing game. And I just think it's challenging to just get rid of somebody like that unless you're going to get something that you feel really strongly about that can make your team better and improve you in specific areas. I don't know if that happens. And so for that, I don't believe all the way in the quarterback in terms of not having the added personnel around him to elevate everybody to be a contender. I know you do, Wilds.
Heck yeah. Well,
but
we all know where it should happen.
What should happen?
That A.J. Brown left Tennessee, an organization that was going through some turmoil, landed with the Eagles, had some great years, won a Super Bowl, said, you know what? That was great, but I need more. Then had a down year and was telling people on a live stream, hey, if you've got me in fantasy football, put me on the waiver wire. I'm not getting the ball. Then he's sitting at home once the Eagles get eliminated from the playoffs. He turns on the television. He said, hold on a second. Is that my old coach getting blown out in the Super Bowl? Can't complete a pass? You know what could help him? Old A.J. Brown.
So that quickly you're going to move on from Stephon Diggs?
No, I like Stephon Diggs.
I
What do
don't
you think
know
I am, Cardi B? I'm loyal to. I'm loyal
I don't
to
think
Stephon
you agree
Diggs.
with me, right?
yeah, I don't think you can have
Why?
both of them.
Well, you would take
financially,
AJ.
or you
No,
would
I don't think
take AJ
Stephon
over
makes that
Diggs
much
right
money.
now.
But I just but I will
There's no
listen.
question.
But I have a very different opinion on Stephon Diggs in the wide receiver hierarchy than my pal KW, who had him in the
You
top
wouldn't give
5
up
going
Diggs
into
for
the Super
AJ
Bowl.
Brown?
No, he's saying they would have them both.
No, I think if the Patriots just went to the Super Bowl and didn't have a true dominant number one wide receiver, and A.J. Brown is fond of Mike Vrabel, and we've got the 11th most cap space, and a team that is all in together, like say what you will about Sirianni, and I do think the guy wins, it doesn't feel like everyone is necessarily always pointing in the same direction.
I totally agree. I am surprised that with the Patriots being first team All-American vibes, with it being a true meritocracy on who Drake was going to throw to, that you would want to get in the A.J. Brown business. Go ahead.
I don't want to have like a mercurial power rankings, but I think if we did, Stephon Diggs would be higher than A.J. Brown. And Stephon Diggs
But
bought
Stephon
into
Diggs
the
Stephon
Patriots.
also was a good soldier.
I was going to say he was a model.
Okay, so maybe it's just a maturation of the player meeting a coach that, you get buy-in from, and it's mutually and a quarterback that you like, and it's mutually beneficial.
So I listen, New England is going to be, first of all, trading him, he's $23 million on your cap to play for you. He's $43 million if you trade him. For AJ, not trade for him, KW,
Philly.
I'm saying for Philly.
Yeah.
Which means if I'm Howie Roseman, the table stakes is at least a first-round pick. So I think, but again, you guys have a late first-round pick. So that's not a top 10 pick. No one's trading that for A.J. Brown. But a good team trading a first-round pick is what I think would get Philly interested. New England is going to come up. I would imagine Buffalo will come up.
Sure.
And I would imagine
Denver.
I don't.
Interesting.
I was thinking Houston. I don't think he and Nico are too duplicative.
Nope.
Right. I think they could play alongside each other. One of the things that's kind of lost to history on the C.J. Stroud meltdown game was also Nico Collins was out that game, so and he really was without because of the terrible injury to Tank Dell. Maybe he comes back, but
He's supposed to be ready to go.
He had missed the full season. So I think those teams. I also wonder if they would trade within the conference. If the Niners might be like, well, we used to have a bunch of receivers, now we have none, and so they would be interested. What I am saying is, there is a scorpion and the frog component to getting in business with A.J. Brown, which is he has been highly productive and prolific statistically and both of his NFL stops and worn out his welcome in both of his NFL stops, one of which Vrabel was his coach. Now, Vrabel seems like what fractured the relationship with him in the front office was trading A.J. Brown. Like, he wanted to keep him. He was fine with it. The front office wanted to move on. So I don't put you guys in desperate mode. I think Buffalo's kind of desperate.
Sure.
And so to me, they make more sense than you guys.
I'm in rookie quarterback who can reach the Super Bowl mode.
Right, you're talking about...
Go all in.
I wonder about this, and I
scale.
like Buffalo better. Both of them obviously could use him. But in Buffalo, I don't think Josh Allen has done too much for him to squawk about Josh Allen not getting the ball. Like, I don't think he can say the same things about Josh Allen that he's implied about Jalen. Because Josh Allen's just...
There's two games where Jalen Hurts did not complete a pass in the second half.
I know.
It's okay
that's
for
fine.
A.J. Brown to raise his hand and say, this is
but
abnormal.
that's not the only reason he was doing it. He was doing that en route to winning the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying I don't think he can. I think he has to have too much respect for Josh Allen to make noise. I'm not so sure that Drake has that level of respect.
That's why I would...
A young quarterback, young quarterback.
I'd be scared of it. I'd be...
He might mouth off and then
I mean,
the vibes are gone.
I don't think that's just, I mean, we talk about like team culture. There was just none of that.
Buddy,
now maybe that's because of who you got.
You were 14-3. Because you were 14-3 and everything was easy until it wasn't.
And you really had no stars other than Drake
I just think
and Christian Gonzalez.
I don't know. I trusted Mike Vrabel, and Stephon was historically tricky, and he loved Vrabel. Mac Hollins wearing costumes to the game, and everyone's in the same direction.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I would just be careful with it. Is what I'm saying. I am not as certain as you are that there are certain that you could drop any personality into the Patriots team and Vrabel's just going to
No, but I don't view A.J. Brown as this malcontent like other people. I thought he was raising his hands like, why are you targeting me once?
Buddy, he was
for
unhappy
8 yards.
3 days after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so was Nick Saban. Guess what? That's what it takes sometimes. Looking ahead to next year for the former Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs, tied with the Chargers for the 9th best Super Bowl odds. Nick, are you surprised they are this low?
So leave this up for a second because our odds providers are friends at DraftKings, but I just want basically every book out there has Seattle, Rams, and the Bills as top 3. And then as just a for instance, the Patriots have, at Caesars, the Patriots have the 11th best odds instead of 5th, and the Chiefs have tied for the 4th best odds instead of where they are 9th. So it's very close, you know what I mean, in the margins between teams 4 through 11, essentially, even in the odds on there, from 13-1 to 16-1. But the reason I'm not surprised is I read this as 100% a hedge on, is Mahomes playing week 1 or is Mahomes playing week 6?
Exactly.
And I think, I don't know if you guys agree or not, I think that if it were announced Patrick Mahomes is fully cleared and is on track to play week 1, then they jump up somewhere in the top 5. Like around where Philly is, probably behind Buffalo, because they're always behind Buffalo in the preseason odds. But if it's announced, oh, wow, Patrick's not expected until week 6, I think they fall out of the top half. You know, like that. So I think that's what this is.
I agree with a lot of that. But I do have to admit, I mean, they were a legit 6-8 with Mahomes.
Yes.
So and Rice didn't kind of pop like we expected. Xavier didn't pop like we expected.
Fair.
We'll see if Kelsey's, but it starting to look like he might be back, but we don't know.
He's not going to be younger.
Yeah, right. So I mean, and you made a great point, Nick, that those are so bunched together. And that's the thing. It's really not saying they're the 9th best team or whatever. But I just do think there's reason to have questions. And then even if Mahomes even is playing from week 1, how's the knee? This year running was a big part of his game. So is that affected? So I just think there are a lot of question marks there with them, so I'm not surprised.
I pulled the opponents, Nick, and I just wanted your general. You have some tough games on here.
Yeah.
Rams,
tough divisional,
Seahawks,
yeah.
49ers, I think are going to be good. We'll see how good the Colts are. Do you want, if Mahomes is back week 1, he's not going to be 100% week 1, even if he's 95%. Sure. Do you want hard games week 1 that maybe we would have lost anyways, even with Mahomes? Or easy games week 1?
I want the first
hard
game. Listen, I always prefer, I think hard late is better because we don't, teams change. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh man, like if you teams that saw,
thought they were going
right,
to be
exactly.
really good,
I'm thinking teams that had the Chiefs late in the year.
Yeah.
On their schedule, they were like, oh man, that's a brutal game we have late, and then they're playing Chris Oladukin and
the Broncos.
But I want the first game Mahomes to play to be against like the Raiders or something. I want his first game back to be against the Jets, a bad team where he can ease himself back.
That schedule is tough.
It's tough for a third place team. It's a tough schedule.
It is, and I'm not surprised that the Chiefs are this low. And even if Mahomes were scheduled to be the starter week 1, and we kind of knew that, I think that they would still be hovering around this same spot because there would still be the questions that, Brew, you're thinking about. Like, well, Mahomes was a healthy goal all of last year until he got injured, and they got off to a rocky start. What makes me believe that they won't get off to another rocky start with an older Travis Kelce? We expected Rashee Rice to come right in and have impact, and we felt like he did immediately. But is the running game going to be fixed offensive line-wise? What are you going to do there? Is Mahomes going to be healthy to the point where he is the version that we've become accustomed to seeing? Third down, third and forever, and it's like, is this a sure thing, or are we questioning whether he can get this or not? I think that is all fair, and you weigh that in when you look at the Chiefs.
And they're not favorites to win the division. Everybody.
I don't think they should be
Is it Chargers?
It's the Chargers.
Who do you think should be?
I'm not sure. I just know.
I like the Chargers.
Listen, I think the favorite to win the division, if it's not Kansas City, should be Denver. I think that the Chargers stuff is just Denver does.
And I don't want to get in a whole Joe Alt discussion, but assuming they got Slater and Alt back,
then it'll be
and
someone
then you got
else's
Mike
fault.
McDaniel. Like
they're going to be missing their fullback.
And his problem, Herbert's problem is the playoffs. Regular season, he should be all right.
I mean, they've never won more than 11 games, right, in the regular season. Like I
think they're gonna have a great regular season.
I mean,
Get Parkins come out here.
No, I mean,
want to do
for the stay. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion, Brew. And as you've been saying, he becomes the face of the QB reclamation project.
Yes.
He gives a lot of credit to Kyle Shanahan, where he sat behind Brock and learned. So how about the person currently sitting behind Brock and learning, Mac Jones? Take a listen.
My whole goal is to get back on track and get with Kyle, just work with him and learn and get my PhD in football is what I've been saying because it's true. And if I have to do that again next year, I'll be really excited. I feel like it's a good fit for me. And honestly, it's a business. You know how this goes. And I've proven that I can be a starter, in multiple different spots. I have 50-plus starts or whatever. So I know how to do it, but it's also a business, and I understand both sides of it.
Heck yeah. Is Mac Jones the next Darnold-esque reclamation QB? And if he's not, do you have a candidate for that?
There are some candidates. I mean, I think Daniel Jones is still out there as that guy. So let's say Indy stays with him. He's a candidate. Malik Willis is a candidate. If I was Pittsburgh, I'd be interested in him. Maybe even Cleveland. But for Mac, these two teams I think should go after Mac. I think Minnesota should to be behind JJ.
Why?
Or because you got to see what JJ is, I think. But JJ, if he's terrible, or look, you can have him battle it out. I mean, we saw Mac for a few games. He played well, and I do think he should feel this way. And I think maybe he can do it. I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but, maybe he can kind of be a Darnold light or be a Darnold. But if I'm Minnesota, I do want to see what JJ can do. If Mac's so much better in training camp, maybe you just start Mac. But if JJ gets hurt, which has happened a lot, or he's just not good, then you have Mac Jones in a good system with a good quarterback coach. And if I'm Pittsburgh, Mike McCarthy has been good with quarterbacks. Dak had his best years under McCarthy. I'm more interested in bringing him in than Aaron Rodgers. And so that's where I would look at Mac.
Could he?
Speak the truth, Greg.
No.
Thank you.
He can't do what
I
Darnold
believe
did?
that he will get an opportunity to try to do it.
Sure.
I don't think that he can do it. I think he's in a really good situation, and because we just saw what Sam Darnold did in with two different organizations, we think, oh man, anybody can do that. Mac Jones can. Well, Sam Darnold's a little more athletic, better quarterback.
Better prospect, bigger, stronger.
The quarterback that
Mac
you
had a
mentioned,
better start to his career.
I understand that. The quarterback that I see, small sample size, Malik Willis. Like, for me, what I was able to see in Tennessee, or what we did not see in Tennessee, and to see him go over to a situation in Green Bay, develop, and then once he was given the opportunity to be inserted and play, there was no drop-up. We actually saw him run a offense, and again, the numbers support him. Like, again, the sample size is small, but 78.7% completion percentage was awesome for Malik Willis based on what we were seeing prior. Look, no turnovers.
Crazy.
Like, he was excellent. And now, again, we see the rushing TDs.
Is that over 2 seasons?
That was, yes. That's the 2-1 record over his starts. Like, I know it's a small sample size, but the growth and the maturity of the player that we saw from Tennessee to the first time we saw him a couple years ago in Green Bay take over, and they just wanted to run the ball, to this year, and they opened the entire playbook and he ran it seamlessly and effortlessly. And some say, man, he looked better than Jordan Love. I wouldn't go that far, but I felt like he should have had a package.
Great.
Moving forward.
So
even
who
in
you
the
think should go? Pittsburgh, maybe?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they want a guy that is athletic, that can get outside the pocket, that can still. They want a difference maker. That's why they felt like, we'll pass on Sam Darnold, we'll let him go, because they felt like there was a ceiling with Sam.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm surprised none of you guys
now we know that.
mentioned as a possible name Kyler. Because
Kyler,
Kyler, I guess, different path because he got paid, and these other guys didn't. Listen, I don't think Mac Jones is as good as Sam Darnold. He's only 1 year younger. It's not like he has a bunch of time to. He came in the league 3 years later, but he came in a little old. Darnold was super young. You guys also know that I think the Niners' offense is something of a quarterback stimulus package for who you're going to be elsewhere. But ultimately, it's kind of a moot point because the Niners are without a doubt keeping him.
Yes, that's
because where I think if Mac is going to be the next Darnold, it'll be in San Francisco. It'll be seriously. He's going to be the quarterback. He's going to be the backup quarterback to Brock Purdy next year, and then we'll see if Purdy gets through the whole year healthy. What Darnold is, what Mac is, he's too valuable to them because they know they can win games with him. And right now, Purdy is a real injury risk. And so unlike Rodgers or Malik Willis, that just costs you cap dollars. You have to trade for Mac Jones, and I don't know if the Niners are going to make him available.
Coming up next, the chilliest segment in a very controversial edition.
It's so fair, it's boring. You almost don't.
One of the more controversial segments we've ever done.
I don't know why you're saying it's controversial.
Because it's
just let the tiger out. That's all I'm asking.
Full of controversy.
Let the tiger out.
Live from New York, the show is preparing for a very controversial segment. The second hour of First Things First. It is a hot segment, even with the snow. Yeah, tell me about it.
You're promising a lot. So you better
I'm just saying it's controversial. I think he's going to do it, and people at home are going to be like, that is
I don't know what
controversial.
What you're going to say is the most controversial thing that it's more controversial than people saying Matt Stafford's top 10 all time. It's more controversial than people saying anything about Sunday's Super Bowl. What you're going to say is you're the only person in the world, including blood family of the person you're going to talk about, who are going to have this.
Including that person.
Yes.
Actually.
And the person, by the way, has been on this show in studio.
What?
Yeah, again,
I have
to sometimes remember.
Way back.
Greg and I did the show long before you came around.
Was it on?
This guy. See this guy? He's just the worst.
Was it on? No, but it was on to you.
Yeah.
It was on the internet.
Yeah, no. A lot of those billion views that we got came well before your era.
Wow, Gianna, shots at you. Today, if history is an indicator, we saw Drake's only Super Bowl appearance. On Sunday. My goodness, that hasn't happened since, let me check, Jalen Hurts lost the Super Bowl, went right back, no big deal. Meanwhile, Topps celebrating their 75th anniversary, and we break down and debut and announce the top 10 Topps cards of all time.
Yeah, and we've got armed guards outside because we have $30 million worth of sports cards in this studio.
I feel like now people are going to come to the studio. But right now, let me get you caught up to speed on a controversial segment we got for you. We reached the summit of the Super Bowl, and the confetti has fallen like a snowy day. Now, we look forward to a new climb in 2026. I know you're thinking, that's way too early. Indeed it is. So grab your snowshoes. It's time for a way too early edition of Mahomes Mountain. Controversial edition, that is.
I have to say, KW, I'm a little disappointed.
With what?
As I'm sure Brew is as well. Greg wasn't here last week, but I know he watches. Last week, for the Mahomes Mountain intro, Wilds didn't do any of the pre-record stuff, that's fine. Didn't even put on the goggles. And when I said he was mailing it in, he said, I've decided I don't want to be a clown anymore.
That's right.
And I assumed that was because your team was playing in the Super Bowl, you thought they were going to win, and you were like, I'm going to be the voice of the Super Bowl champion. But then you guys got curb stomped, and now we can go back to what's worked. We have fake snow on the desk, we have fake snow on the screen, and you won't put on the ski goggles?
Why do I have to wear ski goggles?
It's a part of the
bit.
It's a part of the bit.
Because we're not national treasures.
Exactly.
You are. I'm
a little ski hat.
Listen, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Off the mountain. Not skiing, I almost said. Not climbing. Gino. Because where's Gino going to play? That's my question.
He's going to be the veteran voice
He might be.
Fernando.
Or could he end up being
his future.
the Steelers quarterback or someone? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Tua, where's he going to play?
Oh, no.
Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. Who's going to play there? J.J. McCarthy. Who's he going to start in front of that he's worse than? I don't know. Shador Sanders.
Shador should be on there.
He shouldn't be on the mountain,
He's
Brew.
QB1 in Cleveland.
First of all,
that's true.
there's only
training
28.
camp.
Brew.
Do you have to have somebody, even if they're equal? You have somebody at top,
but
right?
Brew, there's 28. There's only 28 spots on the mountain. There's 32 teams. So some starting quarterbacks aren't on there, and the Jets. Whoever's starting for the Jets, you're in trouble.
Just the Jets.
Just the Jets. Bottom row. Couple number one picks. Cam Ward from last year. Fernando Mendoza for this upcoming year. Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, a couple picks from last year. I think Shuck was the best, but Dart, I don't know, is the best PR. Bryce Young and Kyler, another couple number one picks. And Aaron Rodgers, who wasn't number one pick and has kind of carried that chip on his shoulder to a top 10 all-time quarterback career, Hall of Fame career. That's the bottom row of the mountain. Sixth row. Baker, another number one pick, by the way. Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, and Daniel Jones. So let me go through these guys quickly. Nobody, I think, has been a bigger Baker supporter than me. But the final half of the season was a disaster.
Yeah.
And while he has built up enough equity through his time in Tampa to where no one's questioning his job security or anything like that, it did hurt his standing because he had firmly entrenched himself right on the edge of that top 10. He fell back. Herbert, if it were the Premier League, he'd be better. There's no playoffs. It's just regular season, and then we see. I don't know what to do with a guy who has limited playoff experience. The experience he has been 3 unfathomable disasters. Jaden Daniels is injury concern. C.J. Stroud, we all know. TTL, electric losing. Maybe he can come back from it. Purdy has Mac Jones breathing down his neck. And Daniel Jones, he's in such a weird spot. The culture marketing him as if he is their quarterback. He is not under contract, and he has a popped Achilles. So I don't know how any of that's going to play out.
I don't feel good about that. I'm surprised he's this high, to be honest with you.
Well, guys who had played well this season or have a long history of elite play, I try not to hold a season-ending injury against them. Fifth row. Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Bo Nix. You can win with these guys. All have very obvious strengths and somewhat obvious weaknesses, whatever they are. For Goff, if it gets off schedule, if he gets pressured, he can get a little skittish. Jordan Love, a little too much, what would Coward always say? An artist out there. A little too much painting outside the line sometimes. Dak, if I'm going to hold it against Herbert, he hasn't been bad in all his playoff games, but we've never seen him play his best since his rookie year in the playoffs. Hurts, he's a great leader, he has all the intangibles, yet oddly his team seems to rip itself apart every other year. I don't know what to make of it. And Bo Nix is coming off the single greatest game of his career and arguably the best game any AFC quarterback played the entire postseason was Bo Nix in that divisional round game, but then he broke his ankle and
I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the game.
I think Allen week 1 of the playoffs.
week 1.
Allen against
Remember
the
the
Jags.
Prince threw the game-ending interception?
Yeah, I do
yeah,
remember.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
right.
He had a game-winning drive. He just gave it up to the
And Nick
Fourth row.
did not jump on him at all.
I did jump
even
on
though
him.
he
I
says he
dropped him.
hates that
The guy was top 5 MVP candidate. He's not top 5 here. Sam Darnold, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, and the Prince. What a row. Average draft position of this row, 2. Even though none of them went 2. It's 3 number 1, or I'm sorry, 2 number 1 picks and 2 number 3 picks. Yeah. Darnold did not play great in the Super Bowl, didn't need to. Played brilliantly in the game to get to the Super Bowl, which was their biggest game of the year. And as more data trickles out of the Super Bowl, how about this fun fact? Down to the 100th of a second, Darnold and Drake Maye, same average time to throw in that Super Bowl. Yet Darnold was able to avoid the rush, make plays. Drake May's got Will Campbell contemplating a career position change. Listen, sacks are a bit of a quarterback stat. Darnold gets plus for that. Caleb Williams, who Wilds, was on for 2 days and is now turned on again, had 2.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I texted Danny, we need Drake Maye to go. Caleb Williams will score 14 points in 90 seconds.
And then yesterday, when we were talking about what Brew was talking about quarterback rankings going into next season, and he said Drake's in the same area of Caleb and Jaden, you gave that look you give when Brewer I give a take that you hate, where like you bit into a bad plum, and you're like, ugh. So that's what happened. And the Prince, listen, the top. Now he has 2 top 7 MVP finishes. This now a top 5 MVP finish. Team won 13 games without the number 2 overall pick, Travis Hunter.
Up 7.
Row 3, 3 amigos, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, all under pressure every year, but all under a different type of pressure this year. For Josh Allen and Lamar, new coaches. For Joe Burrow, it can't be 4 years out of the playoffs, right? That's not going to happen. It's 4. Drew Brees dealt with 3 straight 7 and 9 years. Like we've seen it, but wouldn't be great. Row 2. Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes. So you're looking at it. So who is atop Mahomes Mountain? Who is the universally accepted best quarterback alive headed into 2026? And the answer is nobody. That spot's up for grabs. Given the year Patrick had, it was there for the taking for any of those guys on the row beneath him. None of them could quite reach up and grab it. So it's vacant, and we will see who goes and grabs it, or if Patrick reclaims it coming off the injury. That is the most fair. I had 2 weeks ago when we did, I don't remember what we called it. It was a different way too early. I said no one took it from Mahomes, so he stays there. Brew was like, he can't stay there. Talked me out of it. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Brew makes a fair case. So it's vacant for now. Well done, Brew. We got Greg Jennings. Your thoughts?
I actually was impressed that you left it vacant.
Thank you.
Up for grabs.
Magnanimous.
I really was.
The word of the day.
I'm interested to see, like everybody, who Wilds has.
It's got to be Jalen Hurts. That's his guy. It's got to be Jalen Hurts.
It's a controversial take.
Well, because of where he is, I just feel like we need more love. So again, I understand how the mountain works. If we were just going left to right, which I know
No, not left to right.
we don't go left to right. No. This is my personal preference. I would definitely have him in front of Goff. I would consider moving him up above the Prince. Jordan Love, I think he gets a little bit of a knock based on what we have come to kind of not like or be concerned about regarding his play. And we didn't see it this year.
Right.
Which is turning the ball over. And I think when we watch Jordan Love play, it's like, man, well, is he going to give you a turnover? Is he going to throw the ball away? Is he going to make that errant throw? And he just didn't really do that consistently this year. Like, if you look at his numbers, they didn't jump off the page in any area, but specifically when you look at touchdown to interception, 27 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. That speaks volumes in his maturity, his ability to run that offense, to still push the ball down the field the way in the fashion of which he chose to do with this offense, and still not turn the ball over. Now, some will say, I watched those games like you did, Greg, and a lot of people drop those interceptions. Well, a lot of quarterbacks can say the same thing. Yeah. But when you watch his last outing against the Bears in that postseason game, wild card game, he did everything in his power to win that game, and I felt like his head coach honestly let him down. They didn't really lean into his superpower of just letting him go and push the ball down the field and make plays for you. So I would have, again, I think he's the best quarterback still within that division. I still believe that Caleb is the scariest of all those quarterbacks, but I would love for Love, no pun intended,
to get more love.
To get more love.
So you want me to switch him with the Prince?
So let's not call him the Prince. Let's just call him Trevor Lawrence for now. Because the Prince, you're going to have a hard time switching.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Had you made the case that I should switch him with Drake Maye?
Get out of town.
You might have moved.
There's no possible way that no one has a case for that.
Well, I mean, Greg made the case that Jordan Love in his limited playoff opportunities this year played brilliantly. 4 touchdowns, a 102 rating.
Yeah. Why were they limited?
Did all those things? Because
I didn't see him later in.
He didn't really have a defense.
Yeah, I mean his defense did.
I mean, I want to be on your side, Wild. So let's not attack Jordan Love.
Not attacking Jordan Love.
I feel like
Drake.
So, but I can't move him above Trevor when the year, even though I won't call him the Prince, the year Trevor had in its totality.
About left to right, just between you and I.
You want me to move him to the left ahead of, like, to where he's first guy before Goff?
Yeah.
Well, left to right doesn't matter, so sure. Yeah, no problem.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, and if it's not proven left to right doesn't matter, you guys think I'm lying, why would I have Drake Maye to the left of the Prince when I obviously thought Drake was the guy hanging on for dear life for that row? Again, it's random. It's decided by our graphical artists. Brew, go ahead.
I think Matthew Stafford has to be number 1.
Everybody's All-American?
Everybody's All-American.
Wow, Brew, what a journey you've taken.
No, entering next season, he clearly had the best season. Threw 12 more touchdowns than any other quarterback.
Wow.
No one else even threw 35 touchdowns. He threw 46, led in yards, and coming back, obviously has a great offensive coach. So, like, we don't expect him to drop. He's 38, but coming off his best season of his career, great offensive coach in mind, 2 great receivers still, good running back in Kyron Williams. Like, there's no reason to really think he's going to fall off. So I just think he's done enough. The confetti. I guess that means I'm making a good point.
Yes.
But, yeah, I just think, and I think that's being fair to Mahomes, you know, coming off with the injury and stuff. Put Stafford number 1.
You know what?
Everybody's all.
If you'd have told me 6 months ago that Chris Broussard, who coined the term, everybody's All-American.
At first it was a little sarcasm.
That's what I'm saying. As a point of derision.
Stafford.
As a way, it all started because I was upset that Brew had Stafford in that squishy fluid tier 2. That I said Stafford needs to be firmly in tier 1. And Brew was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know about everybody's All-American. We would hear about how much talent the 08 Lions had and how Stafford couldn't get it done with Calvin Johnson and Ndamukong Suh. And now he's advocating to have him atop the mountain. Brew, if I could change it on the fly, I would do it. I'm just thrilled we're here. All right, Kate.
Time now for one of the most controversial opinions you've ever heard in your sports viewing career. Because I agree that Matthew Stafford, the guy was the MVP, won it fair and square. And he played great in the NFC Championship game. But he walked off the field a loser because he was outplayed by the eventual Super Bowl champion, Sam Darnold. If you win the Super Bowl, and I believe we have precedence on this, that last year Jalen Hurts emerged from the Super Bowl, and granted he won Super Bowl MVP, atop the mountain.
Yeah.
The point is to win the game. Sam Darnold said, I have a great defense. I know what the recipe is to win the game. It's not to throw for 400 yards and take some shots at Christian Gonzalez, who was going to grab one of those eventually. It's to just have 200 yards, take care of the ball, and leave with the trophy. So, Dusty, bail on my first graphic if you can.
Well done, Wow.
Because this is about, I want to go playoffs forward. This was, again, the numbers are not eye-popping necessarily because he ran into a great defense. But similar to Greg talking about how good Jordan Love was in taking care of the ball, this guy took a excellent regular season and got better.
Yep.
And we kicked around, hey, are these playoff games won or lost? And it's kind of like a fuzzy question. A lot of them are just lost. Guys just give up the ball and give up the game. Sam Darnold's like, I got a great defense. I'll have 5 touchdowns, no turnovers. And then the biggest thing we were worried about is Sam Darnold going pumpkin mode. And how do you go pumpkin mode? Pressure. That was Sam Darnold's kryptonite, to the point where the Patriots blitzed him on 70% of his dropbacks in the first quarter, which I think was the highest in the next-gen era, or since everyone's been alive. I'm not sure. But passer rating under pressure, highest in the playoffs since 2018. Holy cow, there's Sam Darnold. So the guy had one real weakness, and he became great at it. And he's the Super Bowl champion. And there's precedence from previous Mahomes Mountains. As an ode to Patrick Mahomes, who didn't get on this mountain, and the mountain wasn't named because the guy put up eye-popping stats. It was part of it, but part of it's because he's 3-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not saying for the whole year, but I'm saying for the way too early edition of Mahomes Mountain.
For a week.
The Super Bowl champion belongs at the top.
The Wild's well done.
It's not controversial, was it?
So,
you gave a good
a couple
reason to
things,
take it.
only because you invoked precedent. Jalen Hurts had, in his career already, been to a Super Bowl, played quite well. I happen to think his performance is a touch overrated by the rest of the media, but he played quite well in a game that he lost with a fumble.
Sure.
And had finished second in league MVP voting. The top 3 MVP voting.
Definitely top 7.
I think he was second in league MVP voting. So he had done those things, second to Mahomes that year. Yep. And then won Super Bowl MVP and was brilliant in that Super Bowl. So that is he's in a little different spot than Darnold historically and even in that game. But there is also this piece of it, which is the person advocating Sam Darnold be atop Mahomes Mountain. Do you think Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in the NFL?
I do not think Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in the NFL. I do believe that it's called Mahomes Mountain and not best quarterback in the NFL 1 through 28. Mahomes Mountain is a
rich tapestry.
A rich tapestry.
Yeah.
It is a rich tapestry.
So I think winning the Super Bowl
Another good point.
should be part of the tapestry,
it
perhaps
is,
the richest
It
part.
is part of the tapestry.
Look,
And
I'm getting everybody.
He's showing up
Your
today.
cards.
He showed up.
These
today.
guys are coming
Bravo,
he's 6 through
Rob.
9. He's somewhere
Very
6
well.
through 9.
Very
He moved
well.
up quite a bit. I can't put Sam Darnold atop Mahomes Mountain at the moment. I'm saying he could never get there.
No, he's never going to get there.
No, of course he could get there.
This is the time.
Yeah.
No.
This is the moment.
Yeah.
The guy's in the teacup with Kenneth Walker. This is his moment.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, oh, you know what, week 4.
He won us over, Nick. He's got to get out.
You know what, week 4, Seahawks, Jets,
he made a great argument.
You know what
250 yards, 3
when
touchdowns.
he said it's a rich tapestry, and this perhaps is the richest part of the tapestry is winning the
It's
Super
just,
Bowl.
it's the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Because I
I'm not
don't
even talking
think
about next
everybody's
week.
All-American's the best quarterback in the league. I'm not Brady saying that. I'm just saying he
Wow,
deserves to be ahead.
Drake Maye guy?
No, I'm just saying he deserves to be ahead as the MVP.
It's right there.
But your argument is
Controversial.
good.
It sounds like the simplest thing is to just leave Mahomes up there. You guys are arguing for people who you just said you don't think are the best quarterback in the league.
To be fair,
Every time
3-1 Super Bowl wins. I have to give it.
Every time Mahomes is up there, I'm like, he's the best quarterback in the league. You guys are arguing for guys who are like, I don't even think he's the best guy in the league. What are we doing?
All right, coming up next, which team is on the doorstep of a dynasty? I thought it was the Patriots, but maybe it's the Seahawks. Maybe it's another team. Next. Welcome back to First Things First. The Seahawks are favored to go back-to-back. They are tied with the Rams for the best odds to win the Super Bowl next year. The Patriots have the 4th best odds. Nevertheless, there's some headlines coming out that say maybe both of these teams are on the doorstep of a dynasty. From Yahoo, Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton. Are the Seattle Seahawks on the brink of a dynasty? Meanwhile, Jeremy Fowler, why Drake Maye and Patriots could build a dynasty despite the loss. So, who's most likely, if it's not these teams, you can go pick your own dealer's choice, to be the next dynasty? This hurt your feelings? You okay with this? This is your furrowed brow.
I mean,
Missed the playoffs.
The answer to this question is the team that might still be amidst their dynasty, the Chiefs. Like that's if we are going to say, hey, there was a dynasty in the late 2020s, the best money would be on the team that only has to win one more Super Bowl, and it's like, yeah, it's still the Chiefs dynasty. So I think that is the smart money there. I think if it's not the Chiefs, if the Chiefs dynasty is over, then the odds are nobody. And if I have to pick one, like we don't typically go seamless dynasty to dynasty to dynasty like that. But if I had to pick one team, the Patriots would not be my first draft pick because I don't know that they have a decided advantage within their own division. I don't think they have a decided advantage within their own conference. And I think that there were questions raised by the playoff run that are big enough that is saying, okay, obviously they're going to be perennial championship contenders is not a place that right now I'm willing to go to. Like I put their dynasty chances around the same I put the Bears, which are, they both are starting from, 0 dynasty chips. I don't think making a Super Bowl and losing it before you've won, like, it ramps you up the dynasty ladder. They both have young coaches I like, young quarterbacks I love, and teams that are good but have holes on the roster. So that's and I think the Patriots are in the tougher conference to perennially get to the Super Bowl because of the quarterbacks there.
I do agree it's Kansas City because of Mahomes. He's still like Brady until proven otherwise. As long as he's in his prime, now we'll see how he returns. But I just think right now, I don't think the dynasty is necessarily over. Now, maybe Brady took 10 years between Super Bowl wins. So this may take maybe 2 years. They're not close to getting to the Super Bowl. But I think it's still, assuming Mahomes is still Mahomes, it can come right back and they can start a new dynasty with a new group. So I got Kansas City. Buffalo and Baltimore, I don't think dynasties are on the board. I think maybe they can get a Super Bowl with their great quarterbacks, but not dynasty. But I think Chicago with Caleb is a team I would put on there. And here's the other one, and this is according to your logic, Nick. After the Chiefs, the team would be Philadelphia. Just because if they win if they win it next year, and you got 3 in 6 years, would that be, or 3 in 5 years? Or even if they win it in 2 years.
No, hold on.
I mean, two wins, been to 3 and 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're still young, they're still heavily talented. I do think Sirianni starts on the hot seat, but
hot seat in the middle of a dynasty.
No, I know, but don't we all? I mean, it seems like he is.
Are you
on
discounting Seattle? Because Seattle's argument would be very similar to Philly.
I am I am right now. I don't think dynasty's on the board for them. I mean, mini dynasty maybe, which is 2.
Nick, you got to, what do I have right there?
No dynasty for a while.
Yeah, no dynasty for a while. Like, and I say this.
You think KC's done as far as dynasty?
I think they're done for now.
Okay.
In terms of what you guys have said, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. But I say no dynasty for a while because you made a point. You said, like, the New England Patriots don't have a decided advantage within their division. Yeah. I think the argument can be made that Seattle, even after having won it,
might not have a
they might not have a deciding advantage within their division because it was so close with the Rams. You lose your coordinator. That's a huge loss. Like, and there's so many teams that have really good defenses that if they can just get the quarterback play, Houston, obviously we talk
maybe
Minnesota, but we talk about the Chargers. But the Chargers feel like they have a team like Denver. Like there's so much parity right now, and we just witnessed. This is no knock on Sam Darnold because he played great all season long and he played great when they needed him to. But you don't need a Josh Allen. You don't have to have a Patrick Mahomes if you have these other things. And I think there's a lot of teams that are so close to that. It's going to be very hard for any team to just re-up and retool.
I'm going to make a Patriots argument, but I will also give Seattle their flowers and a little bit of the Chiefs as well and a little bit of whoever you think is a great GM. Maybe it's a Howie Roseman thing. Dusty, can you pull up snaps by rookies? So this is the idea that we did have a very easy schedule. We also had a very young team.
Yeah.
Browns, Jets, Titans, Patriots, Saints. Only one of those teams was in the Super Bowl. A lot of those teams just combined or might not get to 14 wins. I didn't do the math.
No, every single one of those teams finished last in their division.
So,
except for the Pats, obviously.
So I think that, I mean, I was like, oh, Will Campbell and Jared, like, yeah, they were in high school a few years ago. So they're going to struggle a little bit in the biggest game. So the reason I put that in is like they played great, but we also drafted great. Yeah. And we look at some of the articles coming out of Seattle, like John Schneider, like, you know what? I'm going to move on from DK Metcalf and get the draft capital that got Eminwari. Move on from Geno, who was doing great. Move on from Pete Carroll. Switch it up, and all of a sudden, we won the Super Bowl. So I guess the question is this a coach question? Is it a quarterback question? Or is this actually, like, which is not as fun, a GM question?
No, it's kind of all of the above. I think one of the weaknesses of your team, honestly, is your GM. I don't think Elliott Wolf is on par with some of these other guys, and I don't think he's had the drafts that are on par. And one of those rookies that took a ton of snaps, I think they might look back on and say, fine player, but not the type of guy we wanted with the 4th overall pick.
I mean,
and
maybe.
so
we were in this.
I know you were in, but again, being in the Super Bowl doesn't, to me, mean every single player on your team did their job as well as they could have done and was the right pick and the right player. You were there. But here is just, if we could just give us an extra 45 seconds, put up my quote board. Because the other the shaky concern, the post-playoffs added small concern for New England is the one spot where there was no concern going into the playoffs. And this is not my words. This is why I found this from The Ringer, Dante Lee. Maye has to get better, too. The postseason run was abysmal for him. He ended the postseason with 21 sacks and 8 turnovers, both the most by any quarterback in any postseason in the last 25 years. And with 102 sacks taken over his full 33-game career, we're looking at a quarterback whose mix of poor habits and incredible talent makes the future a toss-up. Now, I would say it again.
I think it's an insane take.
I think toss-up is too harsh. I wouldn't call it a toss-up. But I would say this postseason has moved him, for me, from the sure thing category. From sure thing to...
With that argument, he would be better off losing in the second round losing in the first round. Playing great, losing in and then you wouldn't see any of the sacks.
Yes, no.
So because he won games and did what he needed to do to win games, all of a sudden he's got the most sacks.
So that's where, KW, that's where I disagree with your analysis of it. I did not view the Patriots' run to the Super Bowl one of Drake Maye playing like Darnold did in the Super Bowl. I'm just doing what it takes to win, avoiding mistakes. I thought, and reasonable people can disagree, I thought Drake objectively played poorly in each game. And so if you're saying, would I feel better if he had played awesome and lost a duel in round 1? I might.
Literally the hardest defensive path any quarterback has ever faced.
And I think he looked
literally the hardest
Yeah.
of any quarterback ever.
The Great American Race returns, back-to-back champion William Byron, my guy, called it. Looking for a historic three-peat, or maybe the three-peat's like a Chiefs thing. It doesn't get bigger than this. The 68th running of the Daytona 500. It's going to be Sunday at 2:30 Eastern. Pre-race starts at 12:30. That's only on Fox. And tomorrow, right after First Things First, we're getting on a plane. And we're not driving. We're actually going to fly. It would be sick if we drove, though.
Drove today. I've driven from Syracuse, New York, Daytona, Florida.
How fast?
I don't remember. I did it, though.
Thursday and Friday, we will be there. Some great guests coming up. It's going to be excellent, so check that out. Hopefully we get some cool jackets. Again, I want the M&M jacket. But right now, great news. Pitchers and catchers report this week for the world champion Dodgers. Also this week, Topps celebrates their 75th anniversary. 2026 Topps Series 1 baseball cards releases tomorrow. And today, we are counting down. They've been counting down for weeks, top 75 cards. This is the reveal brew of the top 10 Topps cards
ever. Of all time.
Of all time.
All baseball collections.
It's incredible.
Coming in at number
world
10.
reveal.
Brew, do you want to kick us off? Number 10.
Shohei Ohtani.
2018 Topps update.
The boat. That's his rookie year. And I think it's great because going forward, people are going to probably forget, a lot of casual fans, that he played for Anaheim because he's winning.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he's winning World Series, right?
Yes.
With the Dodgers and all of that.
That's right.
Had the greatest game ever with the Dodgers. Most of his MVPs. I think he won 2 with Anaheim maybe, but still, he's got 4 now. And so that's a great card. And is there any debate now? He's the GOAT, right?
No,
on
there
this
is
show.
debate.
There is?
There is debate. Right now is not the time for it, but there is debate.
You know what I would like the goal of this segment is not only to count down the top 10 cards, but to get you invested in a little baseball card action, bro.
Brew will do an investment.
You do have a lot of investments out there, bro.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Card number 9. Guess what? I picked this one out because when I was a child, I think we went to a flea market and then we went to a baseball card store, and I've wanted this card forever. This is kind of like a mandatory card. 1980.
Oh, you got it.
Ricky Henderson. I get it. You don't use these anymore. These screw down lucite. It's a great card. It's a beautiful card. So this was, you get into that junk wax era of like 80s when you there was just a lot of production.
Yeah.
This was like from the 70s to the 80s, like a perfect card from Ricky Henderson.
That is
Looking
perfect.
at that type
Great
of card case
Yeah.
gives me a little PTSD.
Why?
Well, I at one point in college had to unscrew all those and try to sell those cards that I had saved up in my childhood to pay gambling nets. Kobe Bryant rookie card, great Shaq card.
That's not necessarily.
What?
Some of them are worth money. You may have just had the wrong cards.
No, they were all worth money, but I owed people money, and so I had to. What was I going to do?
You know what?
Unscrewing those cases is a tragic moment.
What type of person
It
was
was
selling
either
the
that
cards
or
that
he-
didn't want them in the case? That's a bad sign.
It was
I want
either
them out of
that
the cases.
or he was going to be sleeping
Number
with the
8,
fishes.
1955 Topps Roberto Clemente. This is his rookie card. Also, a lot of early 50s cards, horizontal cards. So it's a great card from Roberto Clemente.
And
Great
it's the
all-time
only,
player.
it's his only PSA 10 graded card, and he obviously is one of the most legendary players with one of the most legendary careers, and also to have his 3,000th hit in his final game ever before tragically dying while on an aid mission.
Yep.
An all-time Pittsburgh and baseball legend.
Yeah, he's amazing. There's one PSA graded 10 in the whole world.
Correct.
I'm on the lookout for another one though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If I come across
I hope
one.
you find it.
I'm
Yeah.
looking for it.
Yeah.
Number 7, 1986 Topps Barry Bonds. This is Topps traded, bro. It would come in a little box, and when I was growing up, the marquee card in the 86 Topps rated, Bo Jackson, sure.
Yeah.
Jose Canseco rookie card was the classic card, similar pose. But turns out Barry Bonds better than Jose Canseco in the long run.
And maybe the boat.
Maybe the boat.
He has an argument for the boat himself, and
He was a video game.
And this
no
is,
question.
to your point, Brew, kind of about Ohtani. A lot of people, young people watching right now, are like, Barry Bonds played for the Pirates? Like, no, for real.
And Barry was thin back
right.
then.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what they're saying,
yeah.
too. That's what they're saying, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Card number 6. I got a story about this card, too. 1968 shared card with Nolan Ryan's rookie with Jerry Koosman.
Well, and that's Nolan Ryan's only rookie card.
Yes.
He didn't have a solo one. He didn't have a great rookie year. Koosman did. Now, obviously, Koosman didn't turn out to be a great player.
Yeah.
Ryan turned out to be legendary.
Tricky.
But, yeah, this is an interesting card.
Tricky if you're, Jerry Koosman's like distant cousin and you want to start collecting his cards. Turns out to be an expensive rookie card.
You're right about that.
Number 5, 2024. This is a modern card. Topps Chrome Update Series Baseball. Paul Skeens. Rookie debut patch. This is more modern cards. Patches start coming, autographs start coming. This is one of one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a patch from his first game ever, and it's signed, like you said, one of one, and that speaks to how it's in the top 5 of the greatest cards. Because what you're about to see from the top 4. KW, you and I mean, Brew was alive when these guys' cards came out, these next ones, but not you and me.
Number 4, 1952 Topps.
Wow.
All-time card, Jackie Robinson.
Now, this is, believe it or not, his official rookie card.
Yes.
Even though it was released 5 years after his rookie year, of course, 1947. But just a tremendous card. It's a facsimile signature, like a lot of them nowadays.
A friend that we both know that I used to work with has this card autographed, and he showed it to me, and I almost fainted.
Autograph from Jackie Robinson?
Yeah, well, he didn't sign it. Yeah, autographed Jackie Robinson.
Not the
No,
facsimile.
it's an autographed Jackie Robinson.
All right,
coming
top
up
3.
Vertical. Number 3, 1954 rookie card, Hank Aaron from the Milwaukee Braves, just another classic card.
And that is his rookie year, the year he did, 1954 is when he entered the league, obviously went on to become the biggest record in America at that time, Babe Ruth's home run record, and obviously great for race relations as well, so tremendous card.
Only 2 PSA 10s in the world of this card.
How much are those?
And, they think over $1 million.
Hank Aaron, great card to collect because he played for so long.
Yeah.
You can sort of get some of the later cards. It's fun to go back, see how far you can go back.
Yeah.
Number 2,
years.
1952 Topps Willie Mays.
I believe he's the greatest baseball player of all time. Of every baseball card that's ever existed, this would be, with respect to our friends at Topps, this wouldn't be my number 2 draft pick. This would be my number 1 draft pick to have. I understand that there's famous cards, the Honus Wagner stamp card. There's the one that's about to come in number 1. But I think Willie Mays is the greatest player of all time, and this is as great of a card as ever existed in sports collecting.
Number 1, this is the classic 1952 Mickey Mantle. This card is displayed in the Hall of Fame. People just go look at it. It's just also just a visually beautiful card. It's got like a nice green hue. Like, it's funny, I talked to one of my friends about this. Like, this card almost looks like a painting, like a piece of art, versus just a regular card. So
it also means, KW, there's somebody watching right now who's 80, who when they were 5 or 6 years old, went down to the soda shop and for a nickel bought a Topps pack and had a 52 Mantle and a 52 Mays and didn't know they were like sitting on Berkshire Hathaway stock
at the same time, I'm so old, when I was buying cards, they cost 50 cents, and now packs are more than 50 cents.
Yeah, but this is unbelievable.
Top 10 baseball cards from Topps.
Awesome.
Series comes out, Series 1 2026 comes out tomorrow. Thank you to Topps.
Yeah.
If you have any of these cards kicking around in your attic,
I'll buy them.
Yeah, call Nick Ryder, call Kevin Wilds. More First Things First. Live from New York, it's the show that's celebrating, Seahawks, today. First Things First overtime. Today, Patriots, they lost the Super Bowl. Are they also losing in Danny's Top 10? It's Top 10 Tuesday. I'm nervous they might fall out. We don't have an easy schedule anymore.
Nobody's thinking.
Meanwhile, Kubiak and Mendoza. Very interesting. There's a chance this team goes from worst to first.
No.
You liked him this year.
I did.
He loved
And they got better.
Yeah, but the divisions, it turns out I was wrong about that.
And finally, are
Genty's still there.
the
Yeah,
Seahawks
I do like him.
built to repeat? That's the discussion today on First Things First Overtime alongside Chris Broussard, I'm Kevin Wiles, Nick Wright, Danny Parkins.
Wilds.
I just feel like you should have had more of a victory lap for your Seahawks prediction. You nailed it all year.
Oh, thank you. I thought yesterday's victory lap was fine, and people seem to really enjoy my gift to you.
That being said, and I haven't even looked at it yet, I described Top 10 Tuesday as a Jackson Pollock painting. An absolute mess that I think people are going to find interesting regardless, but I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of talk in the office today.
I
about my
really
top 10
tilted Danny. I called Danny into
You were
the
just straight up
conference
mean
room
about it.
where all the producers work and I work because I'm a man of the people. I'm like you guys in your private offices. And I just dressed him down about Top 10 Tuesday. And then he stood in the doorway stunned while all the producers were like, oh!
It was just
The producers were not going, oh!
They were.
No, they weren't. Who was doing that? Ian was going like, oh! No. Ian has a Patagonia
You gonna
vest
take
on.
that?
He's
You
not
gonna let
doing
that
that.
That's what
He's not going, oh! He's not. He's a nice guy.
No, I'm just telling. I
He's
know.
just there
I was
like,
just stunned.
no, he's
I wish I
supporting
was
you.
down
I was
there.
stunned. Yeah, it was crazy.
terrible mountain today, buddy.
The dust has settled on the Super Bowl. The Patriots did not win. Will Campbell is not moving to tight end, according to Mike Vrabel.
Tight end?
Yeah.
No one was going to move him to
Yeah,
tight
that's why
end.
he was flippantly dismissing everybody.
Well, he's
not moving to guard, not
want
moving to
long
center,
arms to
not
catch
moving
balls.
to tight end.
He needs to move.
He doesn't need to move.
He doesn't need to move
He
from left
tore a
tackle.
ligament in his knee.
We knew that.
Okay.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah, he had to set. Let's talk to Jeff Schwartz. We're going to cancel this segment. Get Jeff Schwartz up on Zoom.
Let's do it.
And we're talking about
I cancel in Top 10 Tuesday.
Yeah.
all right, so here's an interesting quote panel from Chad Graff on The Athletic. The Patriots had grown stale before the Super Bowl. Final few years under the legendary Coach Belichick were exhausting. The lone season with Drake Maye in charge was a mess. Probably true. Vrabel looked around. His first day acknowledged the task ahead. In the process, Vrabel didn't just return the Patriots to prominence. He made the team fun again.
Well, that's what it, you know what? What are sports for if not to have fun?
We did have fun. It was
Let's
a
hope
blast.
both sides have fun.
It was a blast.
Was it fun on Sunday?
Honestly, I'm at the age where I think just feeling is fun. That's like
Just
you go,
having an experience.
yeah, just going to like a
anything.
sad movie and like that moved me one way or the other. All right, how should we remember this Patriots team? Fun, Danny? Losers.
I get why Patriots fans would find it fun. I think I will remember them as one of the worst Super Bowl participants of my lifetime.
What?
Super Bowl participants.
Yeah, as one of the worst conference champions. Yeah, like it was just. I told you all year. Ahead of schedule. I think the best Patriots team is still to come. They have a ton of cap space. I think there's a good chance that they've got a better roster next year, even if they have a worse team. And when you combine the easy path, so yes, the schedule, and how lopsided it was in the Super Bowl, I started trying to put it into historical context. And they're on this list. It's just them and the 94 Chargers who got blown out. To score fewer than 20 points per game in the lead up to a Super Bowl and then get blown out by 16 or more, them and the Chargers. And then in terms of teams that made it to the Super Bowl with, easy strength of schedules, they had the easiest path ever for a team to make it, and they had one of the worst blowouts in a Super Bowl history. And then when you add into the fact that they also, in the supposed second toughest game, the conference championship, got to play a backup quarterback, I do think it's one of the worst Super Bowl participants ever. I don't think that's disrespectful. I think that's belied by history.
It's definitely disrespectful.
I don't find it to be.
I mean, what does that say about your boy Justin Herbert? I mean, they had to go through Justin Herbert. So he's garbage.
Make this about Justin
No, I'm
Herbert
just
until
saying,
top
like
10
they
Tuesday.
had to go through
Brooke, can I
Justin
tell you,
Herbert.
I was on the ropes and you were just like the best boxing coach. You could.
I mean, seriously, they had to go through Justin Herbert. You said it earlier, maybe it was off the air. They had a legendary path as far as the defenses they
Literally
faced.
the hardest ever.
Literally the hardest ever. And they went through it. And you've been so high on the Bills, they beat the Bills. They went into Buffalo and beat your Bills. So I don't have all the teams listed in my mind. I know getting beat by 16 is not nearly even close to one of the worst Super Bowl defeats. We've seen teams beaten, give up 50-something points,
But
lose by 30-something, 40-something. Like I said, I don't have all the teams listed in my head. I just think that is a disrespectful way. I think this was a great year for them. I mean, they are ahead of schedule.
Well, yeah, it was a great year for them.
They are ahead of schedule. Drake Maye didn't play, obviously, great in the playoffs, but I think this is great learning experience for him. I will remember them, I guess, mainly as I think it was a great turnaround. From 4-13 to get to the Super Bowl in a conference with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow in their primes. Great turnaround, great coaching job by Vrabel, and the beginning of something special with Drake Maye.
So I happen to think that what you said, Brew, and what you said, Danny, are not necessarily contradictory. I think everything you said could be true, Brew, about the turnaround, about the great steps, all of it. And if we were to stack up the 50 Super Bowl participants this decade and the 25, this century, pardon me, and we were to stack up the power rank, the 25 losers, that they would be closer to 25 than to 1. I think that's, I think that's true. But my answer is probably going to make Wilds madder than Danny, so I want Wilds to be able to go
I want
first.
you to go then. If we're gonna, I'm the host of the show.
The odds are we won't.
Oh, remember this team?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, tell me, guys, your favorite 98 Falcons story that doesn't involve a cool dance.
I was going to say,
Tell me,
or some
tell me, the way you, when I was looking at the list, like, man, you guys remember the 76 Vikings? All right, they were just the teams on Danny's
That was the
list.
team
I was
Pittsburgh
just-
beat.
Or
Steelers beat them.
the first graphic.
No,
like,
that's
we got a
what
lot of Natron refried memes, memories other than Chris Berman nicknames for the 94 Chargers. If they don't get back, they will not be memorable. And so that's why I said I thought it'd make you madder.
No.
But I also think most Super Bowl, if you are a one-off Super Bowl loser, you're not memorable. Like,
Here's the caveat. If Drake Maye goes on to become great, we don't necessarily think of the Marinos, that team in the Super Bowl, but we always talk, Marino got to the Super Bowl second year. Joe Burrow, we're still saying, got to the Super Bowl. So I get it. We don't think of the team, but if that quarterback's great, you do remember that he got them to the Super Bowl.
You remember that he got there, but you don't. I think Burrow's example is a great one. It's only been 5 years. How many guys from that Bengals team that are not currently on it, meaning other than Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, like, who was the best defensive player on that Chargers team? Who was the starting running back? Like, it all becomes a little fuzzy if they're not, you know what I mean? And so and I'm not guaranteeing by any means they're going to be a one-off Super Bowl loser. And the teams on Danny's list that we do remember, that is 71 Dolphins, you might not remember. But you sure remember the next year. They were undefeated, and they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? The 91 Bills were on there. In my head, I have to reverse engineer. What year did they play? Who were they playing in that Super Bowl? What I know is, though, that team went to a bunch of Super Bowls in a row. But the Super Bowl losers that we remember are either great teams that got upset, the 01 Rams, the 07 Pats, or teams that had won before and then lost.
I think that's
like
fair.
The Seahawks to you guys, the Chiefs, I think their Super Bowl losses are memorable. They got beat down, but also because they had won before. Like, I just don't know that it'll be that memorable.
I think that's fair. I think, Danny, I'm surprised that you put so much sort of weight on a Super Bowl performance, because you were saying earlier, like, Super Bowls are weird. They're just weird games, and the Patriots were great all year, and they were great against in the in the playoff run, they played great defenses, and I never thought this game is over in 6 minutes like this one. And in recent memory, unless you're like Jalen Hurts lost a Super Bowl and played pretty well. Brock Purdy lost a Super Bowl and played pretty well. Other than that, guys who have lost recent Super Bowls, it ends up getting ugly. Patrick Mahomes had 2 losses in the Super Bowls, were ugly. They weren't close. They were ugly games. So I'm looking at that glass half full of like, yeah, it's ugly, but like I've seen great players have ugly games in Super Bowls.
No doubt. I just think that we
for the same reason.
Right.
Like our offensive line is cooked. We're done.
Yeah, and that's definitely what unraveled that game. But I think all of those things can be true. Like fun season, like the writer had. It was a tough path, but we don't tend to remember. Certainly, like 5 years from now, we're going to remember the path of the defenses that the Patriots played in the wild card round and the divisional round. Like that.
I'll remember the wild card round.
Seafood Tower. But like at the end of the day, it was like unless they get back or unless Drake Maye becomes all time, which he might. I think Drake Maye is going to be awesome. This team is just not going to stack up well to history because of the path of the whole season and because of the blowout in the Super Bowl.
I also think that, and we will just have to see how it plays out and what the general opinion is outside of this show and other places. I think you right now are out of step with the general public in how much credit Drake Maye deserves for the Patriots getting to the Super Bowl once the playoffs started. And
what do you mean?
So
I
think
he played bad in the playoffs.
I think most people feel like the Patriots got their seeding, got the 2 seed because of Drake Maye.
Yep.
And then got to the Super Bowl despite Drake Maye's play in the playoffs. Again, those getting the path or whatever it is. And so I think that the other quarterbacks who have been blown out in Super Bowls typically had awesome games to get them to the Super Bowl. And that mitigates some of the hit you take for getting blown out in the Super Bowl. And Drake didn't get that. Like if Drake had Darnold's NFC Championship game in any of the games, round 2 again, any of the games. Or
if he played like Trevor did in Denver, which I was expecting, like that would have been great.
Trevor
Lawrence.
Oh,
Trevor Lawrence was
in the
regular
season.
I think it was like 8.
Yeah.
Like in 18 games in Denver, one guy lit him up.
Yeah.
I thought Drake was going to be the second.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think the Texans' defense was the best defense in the league. Nobody seems to believe me, but I'm a D'Amico Ryans guy, I guess. Did throw 3 touchdowns on him. All right. Oh, you are in for a treat. You thought Mahomes Mountain was controversial at 4 o'clock. Wait till you see this.
Wow.
The Jackson Pollock of segments. It's a mess, but it sure is interesting. Top 10 Tuesday.
With friends like these.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Famous artist.
Bruce wow was super genuine. Ripping sarcasm. Listen, after what I said about the Patriots, you might be surprised. Coming in at number 10.
Wow.
The New England Patriots.
I'm actually mad about this. Get us out of there then.
Again, top 5 cap space. Not top 5 quarterback yet, but potential top 5 quarterback. Everyone seems to love their coach. I think their roster will be better, even if their record is worse. We know the schedule gets much tougher next year.
Can't get easier, am I right?
Impossible to get easier. But coming in at number 9, it wouldn't be a top 10 list without the Los Angeles Chargers. Most important position on offense other than quarterback? I think
Obviously left tackle.
I think a lot of people would say left tackle. How did the Chargers get at both tackle spots this year compared to last year? They're going to get Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt back. This year they got 6 combined starts from the 2 of those. And their tackle positions allowed 166 pressures and 23 sacks just off those 2 guys. You get those 2 guys back, plus Mike McDaniel, plus the 4th most cap space in the NFL. Chargers, dangerous team.
That, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dangerous team for next year. Coming in at number 8, the Philadelphia Eagles. Can the offense be worse? I don't think so, given all of the talent. Losing Kevin Patullo will be a huge addition, even if they end up losing A.J. Brown. I happen to think A.J. Brown will be back. They're also the 2nd winningest team in the NFL since Nick Sirianni took over, so even with all of the noise, they just win football games. Coming in at number 7, my Detroit Lions. I just can't quit them. Injuries to the interior of the offensive line, They lost Ben Johnson. They lost both coordinators. They changed play callers in the middle of the year, and they were still a top 5 offense. Their defense collapsed down the stretch 2 years in a row. Throw some resources on the defensive side of the ball, have that sustain a little bit. Their offense should be able to carry them. I think they are still one of the best teams in the league. Coming in at number 6, though, the team that should be the favorites in the NFC North, though the odds makers say they're the 3rd best team, my Chicago Bears. Why can't the Chicago Bears be the best offense in football next season? Here's the core of their offense. They don't complete enough passes.
High percentage.
Got a lot of young players who are really talented, who all are nowhere near their prime. Plus, they return all 5 starters on their offensive line. Next year, the Bears' offense got better every month over the course of the season. Should be excellent next year. Coming in at number 5, Bruce Ravens. The talent is there. Jesse Minter with the Chargers always had them outperforming their talent level. Top 3 defense by yards, points overall in the aggregate. The last 2 years, he brings that talent to Baltimore. They were 2-5 in 1-score games this year. That should improve. Baltimore plays to its talent level next season. Coming in at number 4, this might surprise some people. The San Francisco 49ers. List of players on the Niners who missed 5 or more games. Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and Michael Williams, their first-round pick. All missed 5 or more games. Still won 12 games and a playoff game this year. But they were in the NFC West, missed out on the 1 seed at the very end. Coming in at number 3, the Buffalo Bills. In terms of a team that is just going to be good, since 2020, they're the most consistent team in football. Playoffs, they come up short, no question about it, but they have the best record since 2020. They have a playoff win every year since 2020, only team in the league to say that. And they've been a top 10 offense every year since 2020. They are the 3rd best team in the NFL. Coming in at number 2, Matt Stafford goes back. They get the band back together. The Los Angeles Rams, pretty self-explanatory with what they were able to do. They also have 2 first-round picks this year, the Atlanta Falcons pick and their own. They had 6 losses by 21 points this year, the smallest deficit for a team with 6 losses, 2nd smallest in NFL history. And then at number 1, the champs, the Seattle Seahawks, as Wilds like to say. I should have taken more of a victory lap on them. In terms of a team that wins the Super Bowl, normally there's a lot of turnover. This is the entire list of unrestricted free agents for them. Guys who played at least 40 snaps in the Super Bowl. A running back, a nice player in Rashid Shaheed, we'll see if they can keep him, and then a couple of guys in the secondary, but not their best secondary pieces, and then obviously Klint Kubiak. So when you factor in also their, I think, 10th in salary cap space, they should be able to retain any of the guys that they want to. Remarkably consistent team. And Brew, I assume, perfect top 10?
No, I wouldn't go I'm not even jumping on you for the. I just think you made an honest mistake. You forgot the Packers.
Oh, no, I mean, you can't have everybody in the top 10.
The Micah Parsons, I think, will be back next year, right?
Should be back, yeah.
Yeah, he should be back. They were rolling when they had Micah. Jordan Love, all of that, those questions we had about, is he just going to make a bad decision and throw the ball away? He did none of that for the most part this entire season, was great in their playoff loss. They were still, with all their playoff experience, the youngest team in the NFL. Packers got to be on there. I'd put them ahead of the Patriots. I'd put them ahead of the Eagles. And, I mean, their division is going to be jam-packed again. You know, I think the Lions will be better. But the Bears, I think they're all going to be in there, but I think the Packers got to be.
They lost to the Bears 2 or 3 times this year.
Including in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't.
Did Micah Parsons play in the playoffs?
No.
Did not.
And the other game they lost.
Was there any plays that Micah Parsons may have affected?
I can't think of a single one. I can't
I mean, it's all right. You just made you absent-minded. They just slipped your mind.
Honest mistake.
Yeah, they just slipped your mind. Packers got to be in. I'm sure you agree.
Super condescending way. There's no explanation. Let's be honest. All right, Nick, go ahead.
1 and 2, you did well.
Oh, thanks. But it's a top 10 list.
There's at least a justification for the Bills at 3, even though they lost in round 2, they fired their coach, and we think they have huge holes at skill position. Fine. I can accept it. You gave a full list of how unlucky it seems like the Niners got with injuries.
Well, I don't believe that there's a substation that's causing all of the injuries like everyone on the
Okay.
internet.
Do you? Well, it's not just everyone on the internet. The GM said he's going to look into the data on it. Their star running back seems to believe it. I don't know if that's the case.
Still.
Here's
Those people are on the internet.
Here's what I would say. The reason, let's assume that that electrical substation has nothing to do with it, which I think it probably has nothing to do with it. You know the reason why people are trying to find wacky reasons to explain the injuries? Because every year the Niners are the most injured team in football. So the idea that next year, them being healthy would be the aberration. What they dealt with this year is kind of par for the course. It's what they dealt with the year before and 2 years before that. I have no idea why the Ravens are in your top 5. None whatsoever. And I'm not even going to jump on you for your lack of faith in your own Chicago Bears, who right now you have as the 4th best team in their own conference.
I have to be able to move them up when they trade for Max Crosby.
Okay, but most notably, you really don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are a top 10 team. You gave one of these teams, I don't even remember which of the teams, you were like they were 2-5 in one-score games.
The Ravens.
Chiefs were 1-9 in one-score games.
Right, yeah.
That you really don't think the Chiefs are going to be one of the 10 best teams in football next year?
Well, they have the least amount of cap space of any team in the NFL. I know they can restructure Mahomes' deal and Chris Jones' deal. We'll see what happens with Travis Kelce. Chris Jones is getting older. We'll see which of their secondary players.
Older.
We are all getting older. That's true. But I mean, other than running back and pass catcher and pass rush, they're a great team.
Do you?
And with a quarterback who's injured.
So I'm just okay.
And the worst cap position of any team in
so
football.
I'm asking you right now.
So it's a lot of holes to fix with the number 9 pick.
You really don't think the Chiefs are a top 10 team?
Right now, no.
And your justification, if I'm right, just follow me here,
Pass
for
rush,
the Bills
pass catcher.
is purely the strength of the quarterback. Because we know nothing about the coach.
They have the number one running.
You can't. Well, hold on,
They've
but
got a
you
better
don't.
offensive
He doesn't.
line,
Danny
better
wishes running was illegal. So it doesn't, you don't think the Bills have better receivers than the Chiefs? They don't, by any metric, have better pass rushers than the Chiefs. So the Josh Allen has earned the benefit of the doubt that just his power alone, they're a top 3 team. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, not a top 10 team. I find it interesting. I also think you actually think they're a top 10 team, and they're going to quickly be in your top 10. That's what I
Let's see how they handle the offseason, but also there is one more piece of data
Yeah.
that I have about why my top 10 might be a little bit better than
Why?
yours. If people could just throw it up there.
Why?
What's the accounting on this, please? Oh, yeah, that's right. I picked more winners this year. Yeah, I just picked more winners than you over the course of the season.
if that's top 10.
That's not, again.
Well, we're not going to have picks this week. I just wanted a final accounting after the Super Bowl.
Regular, but this is. Are you counting-
this was not going to appear.
Well, we're not doing picks anymore, so I didn't know when to work it in, and so
I
Nick.
see.
And the answer, just so you know when to work it in, would have been on a group text rather than.
Just quickly, Danny, to
Just
break.
felt like the time
I know,
to do it.
just
I don't know.
as a bonus to the bonus.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
Are the Chiefs 11th?
They're in the. It's
Wild
rich
tapestry. Say
tapestry.
no.
I don't think they're 11th.
I mean, the Jaguars got left off. That was tough. The Texans.
Dude, you left the Broncos off. I mean, it's an
Broncos,
awful.
the Texans are gonna
To
be
be
there.
honest, it's an awful list. But I was
I like
jumping
the
on the
list.
Chiefs.
I would love you to do the exercise and not just be like, oh, it's the committee. I'm just.
Wow! Disrespecting the committee. Wow!
Take some
A lot of
accountability.
guts.
Take
The
some
best segment all of
accountability.
sports TV.
Sports
This
Take
guy's
some accountability.
unbelievable.
Take some accountability.
This guy's
for your rankings.
unbelievable.
Marshall.
It's not left to right. It's a rich tapestry.
I'm just saying.
It's a committee. Take some accountability.
You gotta take us to break.
Yeah,
Show
this
falls
is
apart.
mortifying.
Coming up next, Raiders talk. Hubbs joins the show. Talk about Nick's favorite team.
Welcome back to the OT. We got Greg Jennings and Willie Colon hanging out. Right there is the Raiders head coach, Klint Kubiak. Do you think having to go to Vegas right away ruined his Super Bowl celebration? Like he couldn't go out and party as hard because he had to perform at his new job the next day? That's tough.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess got to go back for the parade. It's confusing. Well, he's introduced today. He's asked about his new home and, of course, their expected number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza. Take a listen to the Raiders' new coach.
The resources that the Raiders have, this building, obviously having cap space, having the first pick. Those all go into the decision. And as far as who the first pick is going to be, we got a lot of tape to watch before we determine who that's going to be. The resources are here. We just got to go put it all together.
Willie, what do you look at as the ceiling for the Raiders this year with the first-time head coach and the number one pick at QB?
Well, first of all, anytime a head coach highlights the building instead of the players, that's reason to be
The facilities are beautiful.
Right. So that's reason to be concerned. Listen, this team was 3-14 last year, man, and now you have an opportunity to get a head coach who had a third-rate offense, won a Super Bowl. So he's going to add some stability and culture, but you can't do it without a competent quarterback. I know they have Mendoza, but he's still going to need time to grow. I know they have some pillars on the offensive side, talking about Brock Bowers, DeGenti, but nevertheless, man, they have a lot of holes. This is going to take time. This is going to be a slow build. Hopefully they give him that. I know he has a long runway because of his contract, but I can see this team on the high side. I can see this being a 6-8 team. And that's just me being positive.
6 to 8 wins, you mean?
6 wins, 8 losses, yes.
Well, that would only be 14 games. I got you. Say 6 and 11. I got you.
6 and 11.
I got you.
I got exposed again for my bad math.
I just wanted to be. I didn't know you were 6 to 8. My bad. I apologize.
He never gonna let me live.
I was sticking for facts around here.
I mean, he tried to give you an out.
I
6
tried.
to 8 wins.
I don't know. My kid's always doing the
job with
6-7 thing. It's all good. You were great. Go ahead, Greg.
So, the ceiling is interesting. I don't even want to put a win total on it.
I wouldn't either.
I'm just going to say they're probably going to still finish last in the division. Klint's my guy. I mean, we have a relationship dating back to my time in Minnesota. But when I listened to this entire press conference, I love what he said. He was very authentic. He was very honest about his approach, about what he doesn't know, what he possibly can do. He was asked a question about being a play caller and a head coach and how does he envision that working out. And he said, I've never called a single game by myself. I've always used my coaching staff as a collaborative effort. And in terms of being a head coach, we're going to find out and how that works. So when you have someone who's going to be transparent and honest, also understanding he has work to do, he recognized that, he alluded to that. That division is tough.
Yeah.
That division is tough.
Well, also this formula is tough. It represents a really high upside because if Kubiak is like McDonald or Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen, you can make a huge difference. And if Mendoza is a transformative talent, that obviously can make a difference. But we were looking it up before the show. When a first-time head coach takes over a team with the number 1 overall pick, the team with the number 1 overall pick, obviously the worst team in football the year before.
Correct.
They're almost always bad. The only time we ever could find one that had a winning season was Chuck Pagano, first-time head coach, and Andrew Luck for the 2011 Colts. But that was such an outlier because Peyton Manning got hurt. That team that they won 11 games with, it had Freeney
and
Mathis and Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton. That was Peyton Manning's team. He just happened to get it. Most of the time, it's like Kingsbury and Kyler, 6 wins. Mm-hmm. Ron Rivera and Cam Newton, 6 wins. So my guess is that they'll be exciting. They will show flashes of a ceiling, but they're not going to be good because they have such little talent right now, and both of these guys are going to be into the biggest jobs of their lives by far.
Yeah, it doesn't help that supposedly Max Crosby wants out. That's by speculation, but nevertheless, man, they need a lot. I'm worried about bringing a young quarterback into the team with no O-line protection. Right? This doesn't make sense. They don't have to build this roster up, especially if they want to protect him for the future.
All right, let's go to Pittsburgh. No better experts than these two guys to talk about this story. There's no official update on Aaron Rodgers' future, but Tom Pelissero of NFL Network is reporting that Rodgers is seriously considering a return to Pittsburgh. Pelissero says that Rodgers has not yet informed the Steelers whether he will return for his 22nd NFL season, but my understanding is the odds are increasing. I am told Rodgers has spoken several times with new Steelers coach Mike McCarthy, who of course helped Rodgers develop into a 4-time MVP and Super Bowl winner in Green Bay. So, Willie, obviously you're a former Steeler. Greg, you caught passes from Rodgers and played for Mike McCarthy. What do you see, Willie, we'll start with you, as the ceiling for this duo in Pittsburgh, if it in fact happens?
Well, it could be a late career masterpiece or expensive deja vu, right? Like, that's just the bottom line. Listen, it comes down to Aaron Rodgers is not taking those hits no more. He's not sitting in the pocket taking those big shots. So they're going to have to get a run game that can really work for him. Also, find a receiver number 2 outside of DK Metcalf. I mean, they have a lot of little pieces that can elevate the offense, but they don't have enough guys that can really impact the offense. Like Mount Washington was one of their big, outside of Gainwell, was another impact player for him. But he's not, come playoff time, he's not the guy you want to lean on, right? So I just think hopefully the meeting of the minds, hopefully they can elevate themselves as far as a game plan situation. But I think Aaron Rodgers right now, it's all about what he wants to come back for. I just don't know what's the reason for him to come back.
So to take a little deeper look into what Aaron Rodgers was, and I don't want to just make this a bad thing, but the reality of it is there are a lot of career lows, even with them technically playing better. Based on what we saw his last outing with the Jets. And if we take a look at these numbers, I can't say that I expect this team to do anything other than possibly what we saw this year, have a chance to make the playoffs, maybe not, maybe get in, be right there. But when you look within this division, I mean, those numbers were really good for Aaron Rodgers. And yet, for his career, they're all the fewest.
Which makes sense for a 41-year-old quarterback.
But also personnel, though.
But which also suggests he needs so much more help than what is currently on that roster. To your point, a number 2, a running game, offensive line protection, even more than what it is defensively. You got to continue to bring back some of those guys and then be able to create those turnovers, get the ball back in his hands. Can he provide you with his skill set, his smarts, and execute in late game situations? Absolutely. But to rely on heroics from Aaron Rodgers to elevate everybody around him, that's not what you're going to be getting.
I still think that Steelers fans shouldn't be rooting for this. I think that I know you hate it. I know we're going to disagree on it, and then he'll announce that he's coming back. But if McCarthy and Rodgers are there, they're going to be good. They're going to be a competitive team with a very low ceiling. And I don't know. And since it's not a long-term thing and there's no path to it.
Rodgers is not a long-term thing.
Yeah, and we'll see how long.
McCarthy's going to be there for a little.
Sure, he'll be there for a few. But it delay. I would think if you want Mike McCarthy to develop the next great quarterback of the Steelers, you'd want that prospect to be as good of a prospect as possible. And in order to get that prospect, you need to have a higher pick in the draft. And so,
yeah, but I think when we have been on here, he kind of told you the Steelers sauce, if you will, to build the team up and then have a young guy be ready to go. I think it makes sense when you hire Mike McCarthy. One of his superpowers was to develop a young quarterback. They still have some things on the offensive side they can build up. So when Will Howard is ready to go, he's stepping into a Porsche. And
I think that you should try to shoot for a better talent than Will Howard. But this duo will win games and then lose in the playoffs. I mean, 9, 10, 11
you
wins.
just want a shot at the table. I mean, not the best team wins the Super Bowl, right? It's the most opportunistic.
That has been the tried and true thing for the Steelers for a while, and it hasn't worked out so well. We just saw a team, though, make it to the Super Bowl with a 23-year-old quarterback and an easy path to get there. Their chances of making it back, already talking about it in New England. We discuss on the O2. All right, welcome back to First Things First. Let's talk about the runner-ups, the Patriots. A Super Bowl in year 2 for Drake Maye. Obviously didn't end how he hoped. Jeremy Fowler says, though, the Patriots' appearance could be the first of many, although, of course, nothing in life is guaranteed. On paper, this Super Bowl appearance could be the first of many, but that's hardly a slam dunk. Dan Marino was also 23 years old when he reached the Super Bowl. He never returned. Joe Burrow was 25 when he led the Bengals to a Super Bowl in year 2. Since then, he has one playoff appearance in 4 years as the injuries mounted. Greg, how confident are you that Drake can reach another Super Bowl?
Look, I'm not really confident at all. And I don't say this as a knock on Drake because I really like him as a young player. I thought he had a fantastic, obviously, regular season. He played poorly in the postseason. But I played with a guy we just got done talking about who was one of the most talented quarterbacks in all of football, and Aaron Rodgers. How many Super Bowls did he make it to?
Yeah,
the one.
Yeah, he had the one.
That was it. And we felt like
a lot of NFC championship.
We're gonna be back. We'll be back. We got the best quarterback in the game. And it's not that easy. And when you look across the league, and you can just look in the AFC, there's so many teams that are like on the cusp, that are right there. Denver, a team that feels like if we had our quarterback, you wouldn't even gotten that opportunity. You know, the Houston Texans of the world where the defenses are there. Shoot, the Chargers. There's so many teams.
I mean, Lamar,
yeah,
Josh Allen.
There's so
Patrick
many
Mahomes.
teams that are right there that's going to make the path of getting there that much more difficult, that it's hard for me to sit here and say, yeah, I'm very confident he'll do it, when it just doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah, I agree with you. Returning is harder than arriving. I think the issue for this team, considering that's a fairly young team, that, you now have this target on your back, right? And whether you lost or won it, people are going to look at you differently. And Drake Maye, now he's been exposed, and his offensive line has been exposed. And I said yesterday, they need a receiver one. They need somebody that can beat all odds. They don't have that. So there's still some holes in that offense that I think they're going to have to continue to build. But I think right now, for him, his confidence still has to be high, right? Being your young quarterback, landing in the Super Bowl, you have stability at the head coach. You got Josh McDaniels still there. The defense, I think, is going to be better. So there's a lot of upside. And listen, I think one of the best things that came out of their camp is that he doesn't need season-ending surgery, right? Like, he can go into this offseason and continue to grow and build up instead of having to be on the training table. So I think there's a lot of good ahead.
Well, so the odds are always like Team A or the field. The odds are always in favor of the field.
Of course.
Right? Like that's
of course.
But you guys have both told me these stories. We've talked about it a little bit off the air. Like what Greg was just alluding to with Rodgers, like, of course we're going to be back.
Yep.
You felt the same way too, right? Like there's the delusion of the player who gets to the Super Bowl to think that they are going to be back when it's much harder to do it than it is to imagine.
Yeah, but that's because of the culture that's built around you. The guys in the locker room and their dedication to being the best they can be each and every Sunday. Like our defense was, as everybody knows, well documented, was the face of our team. Those guys kept returning. The problem is when you started to see those guys leave because of free agency or the coaching staff starts changing. And then you start to see the young guys being pushed into different positions that they necessarily weren't mature enough to take on, right? And so that's when you start to see the shift in culture. And also it's hard, right? Because it's hard to feed a full tick. When you start winning, you start receiving all this success, you start feeling like wins just happen. You got to earn every win. Mm-hmm. You just have to be on a good outfit that knows how to win. So that's the difference.
I'll say this, though. Like, next year, I'd bet against it. But in his career, I'd bet on it. I think he's going to be a superstar. He's got a good coach. He's got good ownership. And while they'll be worse next year with the record, I actually think the team could be better because of all the cap space that they have. Like, I think that they reached the Super Bowl a year ahead of schedule. Yeah. If not 2 years ahead of schedule.
Look, man, I mean, he's in a conference where we all I don't know.
The NFC was better than the AFC this year. The AFC just had the better quarterbacks.
Right.
The NFC does have the better
teams.
But
we all still sit and look and say, well, Josh, he'll get to one.
Sure.
Lamar, he'll get to one.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, possibly he'll get back.
Someone's got to be Phillip
Patrick
Rivers.
Mahomes is going to be coming back saying, what about me? I'm the one that typically gets to it. So it's going to be difficult.
All right, so I went through my way too early top 10 earlier. It was met with no notes. Just don't go on the DVR and check that out. Don't fact check me. Well, let's turn to the way too early odds for next season. The Seahawks come in as the favorites, co-favorites, with the Rams in their division. Depending on where you shop for your odds, some of this is going to be in a different order, but this is generally speaking the top 12. Greg, do you look at the Seahawks as being a team that is built to go back-to-back?
They are definitely built to go back-to-back. When you think about, we talk about youth with a mixture of good veteran leadership. You obviously have the quarterback in play, the young head coach. They have everything. It's one of the reasons why they won it this year. They come back with that same retooled team. Now, what you just spoke about, we'll see how it translates into this season.
How do they handle winning?
Absolutely. Because you
talk
have
about that every year,
the
right?
appetite when you have never done it is far greater, and it's like everybody's foaming at the mouth for it. Once you've tasted that success, not everybody has the same drive and passion, and we're accelerating at the same rate.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, listen, I can tell you, man, when I won a Super Bowl, we partied well into the next season. Like, we were still partying. And, like, we had to remind ourselves it's a new season. And
I love that.
And also, listen, those Thursday meetings that were mandatory for every guy to be at so you could be dialed in for Sunday, now for some guys, those become optional. So you start seeing the details start to wing. And I think the largest part of, this this Seahawks team is not only this defense, that they had a head coach who built a culture that everybody calls home, right? Like Sam Darnold calls Seattle home right now because he won a Super Bowl and the guys he's able to trust. Him not having Klint Kubiak no more, that's going to be a big issue. Who sees what happens? There's a couple guys Rashid Shaheed, he's going to be a free agent. There's some DBs that's going to be gone. It's going to be a different locker room. Can they handle that?
Yeah, but every team has turnover. You guys know that better than ever, right?
Yep.
You never bring back the same 53. If the question is, are they built to repeat? They definitely are, because if we can just throw up the free agents of guys who played meaningful snaps in the Super Bowl, that is a very small list.
Facts.
And it's not, if you did the 10 best players on the Seahawks, I know Kenneth Walker was the Super Bowl MVP, but running backs are fairly replaceable. They also have the 5th most cap space of any team in the NFL. So yes, they lose Klint Kubiak, and that's big. But if you have a great GM and a great coach and a great roster that was top 3 offense, top 3 defense this year, that just won the Super Bowl, and enough cap space to bring back any of your own free agents that you want to and attract a couple of others, and a GM who hits in the draft, like, they are as set up as any team can possibly be to get back. Doesn't guarantee that they will, and they probably won't, but they are as well situated as basically any team could possibly be based on their roster.
Absolutely. And that's why when you ask the question, are they built to do it again? Of course. And you leaned on a defense, a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent. You just laid it all out there.
Like, their offensive line is all young. JSN is young. Witherspoon is young.
Yes.
Their defensive line is middle of the road in age, but like all coming back. They're in a really good.
Still playing in a tough division, though.
Very tough division. Very tough division that they just went through. Oh, it's been a while since we talked Caleb Williams, you know what I mean? But it's the off season. Hey, this is your guy. Micah started talking about it. It's not me, it was Micah. Micah brought it up. It's not my fault, Greg.
We was winning that game. Like, we can act like Cinderella shoe was smelled. We was winning that game. It just so happened it got lost again. But, oh, my God. Don't even show me him. I can't lie. Watching seeing that and seeing him get that name, and just this right here, like, it just kind of just said,
it was tough. Oh, I feel so bad for Micah Parsons. In case anyone doesn't remember, Greg, this is Caleb Williams with the walk-off against the Packers and the Iceman nickname, and then, he does the whole thing. I don't know, just the best nickname in NFL right now, right? Probably got not all time. Prime time is better. Sweetness is probably the greatest
That's
nickname.
a good one.
Sweet. Mean Joe Green.
Minister of Defense.
Yeah, the playmaker. So I'm not saying that Iceman is the best of all time.
Joe Cool is still pretty.
I think
Joe Cool, Broadway Joe.
The celebration looks more cold than the actual name. I
I'm with that.
The Cole Palmer.
When Reggie hit that final 3, remember in the Garden when he hit the choke sign?
The little
on the
choke
Knicks?
sign that Halliburton
That
took
lives
back.
in my dream. That lives rip-free in my head. So
Yeah.
that probably for Packer fans.
He should just stick,
Yeah, right there is the coldest one right there.
Okay.
I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
But you respect it.
I respect it.
Yeah, because I wanted him to be the one, but now the Iceman with the celebration and that he cemented it against the Packers, and now knowing that Micah hates it, I love it. I gotta say, like, now I am all in if Micah hates it. It's perfect. See you tomorrow on the OT.